Good morning to you.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
I am don't adjust your sets. I don't know what I'm doing. It's R&R in the morning, a Tuesday edition as I try to tap into our StreamYard feed. Hope everybody's doing fine on the second day of the week. Spurs went out last night and stacked themselves a victory. That's 2 in a row for the good guys.
Is that their first 2 in a row?
Yes, sir. It's the first streak of the year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm having trouble with
you all right over there?
I'm having trouble over here. I don't know what's happening. That doesn't look
well,
good.
That mic. Well, I don't know. I know that mic was having issues.
Oh, no.
Where was Jimenez yesterday? Like 1 minute into the show, his entire mic fell off.
That's what
That's an issue we have with these things.
Yeah.
The good news is the San Antonio Sports Star, we're moving to bigger and better confines here in the next couple of weeks. Going to get a larger studio. You know,
Woo!
we want to look professional.
Morning. Yeah, so we're gonna be green screen. Rob's gonna wear a suit.
That's Pledger's gig.
Yeah.
I think I'm in there.
Yeah, there
Karl,
you are.
Oh, there I am.
There he is.
A little bit closer than I'm accustomed to.
Notice the beard coming in.
Oh,
we took our
yeah.
Thanksgiving
I
pictures. I'm
told
back
you
to
it would
normal.
take long. What
It took a month.
It took a month.
Took a month.
And you back.
I'm back, baby. In full gray beard.
I'm
a little
back
bit more
too.
came back in. You're back. How was the extra day? How was the fam up in Dallas?
Great time, man.
Lots of people missed you.
Yeah, man. Great time, man. Good to see y'all. Because this was one of those, again, it's been a while since we had all the aunts, all the uncles, all the cousins. Like we had all my sister hosted everybody's in it. And she's a Virgo, so she was a nervous wreck the whole time trying to host. Her first time hosting Thanksgiving. But it turned like I told her, if the food is warm, no one cares.
Truth.
Like, don't we worry? She's like, I got to get this ready to get that ready. No, you don't. If the food is warm, we good. So great time. Got to spend time with Ma Dukes.
Lovely picture.
Yeah. So I had a blast, man. You know, and I was like driving back yesterday. I was like, yeah, man, let's go. I'm ready. I'm ready to rumble. Then the alarm went off today, and I was like, I ain't ready.
Yeah.
You know, like yesterday I was driving back, like telling my wife, like, yo, I'm ready. I'm refreshed. You know, we've been going hard for 4 months. I needed this. Let's go. And that thing went off at 4:15, and I said, hold on. I might need one more. I might need one more day. But no, man, it's good to be back, man. How was
how was the comeback yesterday? How long were you stuck in Waco?
It was good. I wasn't stuck. It was nothing because it was Monday.
You went right on through. Didn't have to slow down.
Nothing.
What's that like?
Yeah, I only had to stop. I only had to stop because I have a 3-year-old that's finally potty trained. And
good for you.
I potty. I'm like, yo, I'm put a diaper on you. Just pee in your diaper until we get to San Antonio.
Do you have a preferred stopping point?
Because
I've been trying to get you to stop at the
kolache
spots.
See,
baby.
I wanted to, but I saw it on the sign. I was like, man, Rob's been talking about this spot. But I was just trying to get home.
You're gonna pull over. You're gonna thank me.
One day, change my life.
One day, your life will be changed.
Did you stop? Because you went to Dallas too. Did you stop?
Yeah, of course I stopped.
On the way or back? Both ways.
Yeah, you have to, man.
Are they that okay? Let me ask you this though: is it this? And you immature people, bear with me. Is it the skinny sausage in the kolache or the thick sausage?
It's a thick sausage. It's a good kielbasa, man. They do it right. Now you can get it with a skinny. You can get it with ham. You can get it without ham. You can get, you name it. Plus they have all the sweet ones.
Mm-hmm.
Fresh, right out of the oven. Oh my!
We do Buc-ee's. We are a Buc-ee's family.
Buc-ee's is good.
We're a Buc-ee's family.
But these that have especially the one that's on the west side of 35, the Heitmullers.
So that one going toward Dallas.
No, going south from Dallas.
Okay, gotcha,
on the west side. And going north, it's on the west side too, but it's on the right-hand side if you're going south. They have a big old bathroom. You can do some shopping. They've adopted the what's the place with the rocking chairs sitting out front where you can
Cracker Barrel.
They have the Cracker Barrel mentality. We can find a nice garment.
Yeah.
And some chicken fried steak in the same place.
Absolutely.
Play a little country game with some pegs and some golf tees.
Yeah, my wife made me do I actually went out during Black Friday.
Oh no.
Found nothing.
Were there people out?
Yes. I had anxiety. I had anxiety as soon as we went to some mall.
Up in closer in the South Dallas?
Yeah, somewhere over there. I forget which mall it was, but as soon as we pulled into the parking lot, I had anxiety. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like everyone's trying to find a spot. Everyone's honking. But it was a good family outing. We got to walk off some of the food,
I hadn't hit a Black Friday in quite a while.
Because you have a computer. You have a laptop. There's no need to go out.
But there is something about to get in the Christmas spirit. You have to be amongst people.
Right.
And were you feeling it?
Well, you know what I did do? I got a new phone.
Oh, nice.
For those that don't know, I never do cases, and it always backfires. So I got a case at the mall. That was about it. And I got my daughter some shoes.
But was there Christmas music playing?
Yeah,
you
can hear the Christmas music,
and
everybody's running around spending money. I'm like, man, I thought we were in a recession. Don't look like it.
We're in the opposite. We're in the inflationary period. Everybody got a little bit of extra money, so prices are going up.
Oh, gotcha.
We're on the other side of that, sadly. But
so how was yesterday? Trailer, McCarthy, how did everything go?
It was
my bestie looking for me? Did my bestie look for me?
I thought personally that he was missing you. I thought Coach was a little surly yesterday. I was talking about his offensive line play, and he jumped me. He's a little upset. Hey, it didn't affect the outcome of the game. I just had sets for 7 players, only had 5 spots. And then there was a little cough in there, and we thought, well,
you heard him cough. He literally coughed.
Oh, we saved it. There was 2 instances during the.
So he gets off the phone. You get off the phone with him at 6:58,
7:07. I think we saw the tweet.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. How long did it take?
I don't know if he knew. No, the way he talked, he did not know.
Schefter reported it at 9:43. I think we reported it at 9:50.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, it was within 30 minutes.
7:50 or 9:50?
I said 7.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Within just a couple of minutes of us going off air. So he found out after he got off air with us, probably between us and his ordinary schedule is he gets off the air with us, and his first meeting of the day after he goes by the training room is with the quarterbacks. That's his normal morning routine. So I would like to think that because it was Zoomed, he was just in and around his office and didn't run into anybody. But
I can tell you why he missed me, because after a loss, I am the perfect guy to talk to, because I will continue to lob softballs, because I'm not here to be a ball breaker.
Well, we weren't breaking his balls. I mean, I asked him if he still had faith in his kicker.
You did?
Yeah.
What did he say?
He said, yeah. I didn't believe him. But he said he had faith in his kicker.
To his credit, he at least said, we know about the extra points.
Yeah, he brought it up, but I said, you still have faith in your kicker? And he said, yeah.
Those are tough. After a loss to a team like you 1-3 against AFC West, you don't want to talk to a coach after a loss like that.
No, that was bad. Because
you don't want to talk. I don't care who you are. You don't want to talk to a coach after a loss like that. And then they got to turn around and play Thursday again.
And of course, you got to be surly, because I do believe he felt like he was playing 16 on 11. That the refs, there were 4 DPIs called on the same dude, all of them earning first downs, 2 of them leading to scores.
Did you agree with the calls, though?
They were all pass interference. Every one of them.
Okay.
Every one of them. There was. I'm not going to dispute the fact, but you can have a dude that has spent the entire season essentially doing that with only one call and decide that, this week we're calling every one of them. And that's what this crew came in to do. They are road refs. Steve Javie, the NBA, used to be a road ref. You wanted this guy because he was going to call it even, or even better, call it a little bit tighter on the home team just to make the game feel a little bit better. Was every one of them appropriate? Yes. But there comes to that point where the argument can be made, if you want to, especially in the NFL, you can throw a flag on every play if you so desire and back it up with being right.
Are you suggesting that the Raiders sent film?
Yes, I'm not suggesting. I am guaranteeing you that the officials not only had their own film, but the Raiders sent film, because they knew that this crew was an 8. What were they? I want to say 8-3 now. Road team wins.
Really?
Yes.
That's not by coincidence.
No.
What's that?
I imagine it's the same, but NBA and G League refs watch film just as much as players.
They do. And that's why NFL submits tape on players. That's why, because it does trickle down to the refs as they prep for their game. They prep for games just like players do. They look for tendencies.
I don't want to rewind too much, but are you worried now? Are you worried about the Cowboys?
No.
I think it's a matter of getting healthy, but this is the thing. When you look around the league, no one is healthy.
No, and that's exactly it.
It's that time of year. But are you worried about the Cowboys? And when I say worried, I'm talking about a deep run.
No, the Cowboys. The problem is certainly injuries, but it's the timing. And we got 3 games in 12 days.
True
this
that.
was a
That was a brutal schedule.
A death march. But
right.
On the other side of that, as RJ Ochoa brought up yesterday with Michael Minutes there on halftime, was this is not anything new. But you're a Dallas Cowboy. You do this every year. This is not anything new. You always play on Thanksgiving. You always get these 3 games in a short amount of time because of your decision.
RJ.
So it's not like this is something that we're not accustomed to doing. It's like the Spurs rodeo road trip. They turned that into a positive. They decided, you know what? This terrible schedule, we're going to turn this into a mini boot camp in the middle of the season and treat it as such. Going into it, we're going to embrace the suck. It's going to be awful, but it's going to be intentionally awful because at the end of this, we're going to be better for it. And the Spurs, used to get ready for it. It was mid-season training camp. You're just going to have a little bit more to do on that Tuesday night in Milwaukee. Well, the Cowboys don't embrace it like that because it's always just this struggle to get through because football's different. But the history tells us that when they are successful during this 3-game bout, they go to the playoffs. Now, they haven't won, but over the last 4 years, if they sweep through or go 2-1, they're playoff bound. Anything less, no, they're not. And this time, they're not. So there is some deep-seated concern, but the cavalry's coming. DeMarcus Lawrence is playing Thursday night. Gregory is imminent to return.
Amari Cooper's back in the building.
Amari Cooper's back in the building, and we could go on with injuries that, they're finally kind of filtering back in.
CD should be back, right?
Yeah, CD's back.
Yes.
Yeah, he's back, already been back.
Okay.
So Amari's first practice was yesterday. Tyron Smith is back out there. So it's hard to be too concerned, but history tells us that when they don't do well during this little run, it doesn't end well. Then again, if you're a Cowboy fan, it had ended well in 27 years or 25 years. So.
You don't win the last game of the season, yeah. And then there's that team that plays in DC that's won 3 in a row and is now the 7th seed.
Yeah.
That you have to the
Seattle
Cowboys
is a bad
they still have to
team.
play 2 more games. They still play Washington twice, right?
Yeah, we haven't seen Washington yet. They're getting better.
5 of their last 6 are NFC East teams,
which is the cure for what ails you.
Which is a great thing.
Yes,
like if you're in if this was like a NFC East year when they were really dominant, that's like
that's what.
But right now it's like cool.
They've never really been dominant, but the
I don't
NFC
know
East likes to fight. They're fun. They're weird games.
Yes, they're always ugly. You're right.
Heineke's coming. Heineke.
Yeah, he looked all right. He's all right.
No, what the thing about it is he don't make mistakes.
No, he's all right. You know what I mean? He's all right. He will make.
Rob, you sounded a little overconfident over there, man.
No, he's all right. I have no problem with him being a quarterback. Don't get too cocky now, Rob. But he isn't going to go out and do anything spectacular.
Don't get too cocky, Rob.
He's a 500 player. He's gonna throw an interception.
Wow, what a 500 player?
I mean, what I'm saying is you're going to get half and half. You're going to get for every great throw he has, and he has a lot of them. You get the same amount of bad ones. For every great decision, you're going to get a couple of great decisions, and you're going to get an equal amount of. He's a 500 quarterback. Now, just like a hot craps table, sometimes you stay hot, like Fitz. Fitz is, Fitz Magic is a 500 quarterback.
Yeah.
You will regress to the mean eventually. You're going to come back to who you are. And Heineke is just that. So they'll be games.
I got you.
When he's hot, I don't want to play the cat. Just like when Fitz Magic is on fire, you don't want to play him because the dice are hot.
But the Cowboys are still a better team, right?
Both those teams are struggling. I mean, Seattle, I felt bad for Russell because that last Gaff's drive was all him. That offensive line is terrible.
Now you see why Russell was kind of like.
He has more right to be upset than Aaron did.
I want to get out of here.
Yeah.
Like, y'all are going to knock 2-3 years off my career. I'm taking a beating.
He is.
But this is the thing. When you pay your QB, you pay him, there's going to be casualties.
Completely agree.
And some of the casualties have been, and now you try to play an offensive line on rookie deals, and they all stink.
They do.
You know what I mean? So at some point, Dallas is going to have to pay Diggs and Micah and CD, and there's going to be casualties when you've drafted so well as the Cowboys have. Every team deals with it.
Hey, we're going to talk a lot about the Spurs victory in just a bit. They take down the Wizards. Baseball players, boy, they just sit back and laugh at the rest of the sporting world in the United States as the paychecks are gargantuan. The Rangers have spent like $500 million in the last 3 days. You want to talk about
they got their Correa and Altuve? Is that what they got?
They got him a 31-year-old shortstop second baseman that's worth a little bit of squalor who is just giggling.
And we are your home. of their Texas Rangers.
Overpaid Texas Rangers.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about coaching carousels in college football. Brian Kelly. Yes, that Brian Kelly is now the head coach of LSU.
And I think Nick Saban is going to be walking into his the people that pay him office and be like, hey, that guy's making $15 million a year. And I kicked his ass by 50.
Yeah, this clown.
I need a raise.
Everybody in the SEC is licking their chops today. We'll talk about it. Although you might disagree. I think Rudy might. Let's get you caught up. It has been a busy last 24 hours. It is time for your headlines. Consume them at your own risk. Karl, what's the 411 and the 210?
Here's the 411 in the 210. Headline 2.
You mentioned it, Rob, but sources say Corey Seager, the Texas Rangers, agree on a 10-year, $325 million deal. The Rangers are looking to capitalize on their new ballpark and return to prominence after 5 consecutive losing seasons. They've committed $556 million to 3 players in a span of hours. Seager's deal came one day after the Rangers signed second baseman Marcus Semien to a 7-year, $175 million contract and starting pitcher John Gray to a 4-year, $56 million contract.
All good money.
Is this because Ron Washington got a ring?
Yes.
I mean, at what point, what makes you, be who you are for the past few years, and then all of a sudden this year you go spend $500 million?
It's the same organization, or at least the same name that paid A-Rod all that money all those years ago. Every now and then you live in Dallas, you got to make a splash, baby. You got to show the money. You got to show those greenbacks. Never, I'll say it till my dying breath. The moment any professional franchise owner pleads poverty, walk out. Just leave the room. The Rangers, contemplate this. The Texas Rangers spent $500 million in the last 3 days on 3 players. Just contemplate that for a second.
And it's guaranteed.
Yeah, that's and they're a middling franchise in a market where they probably rank fifth.
Behind who?
The Stars are ahead of them, I think.
The Stars, the Mavericks, the Cowboys, and then maybe they're competing on the regular with
a TCU and
SMU football, or maybe the Dallas FC, which I would say probably draws, if you extrapolate over 82 games, or 100
whatever it is,
home games,
81
home games, about the same. So, and they are spending that kind of money. Never listen to an owner that pleads poverty. They're lying to you.
This is only, I think, the second time in the franchise's history. The first time was like back in the 70s that the Rangers lost 100 games. So if you're a Rangers fan, then I think you do like to see that at least they're trying to fix the issue.
No, I'm not upset with them spending money. What I am saying is that the Rangers, after being so terrible for we're at 5 years now in this,
I would think. And then you're watching the Stros get to World Series.
Yeah, and
it's got to bother you.
And that was due to farm system. I mean, they didn't have to go spend a whole lot of money at first. They built it through losing and traded adequately. The Rangers have been unable to do that, so now they're going the other route. The true route of baseball is just go buy it. Just go spend the money.
But they're about to be in a lockout.
But as I said yesterday, it's let's applaud them because one of those 3 guys is going to be a Yankee at the end of next season anyway, because that's what happens with the Rangers. And in baseball, you sign a big deal, and then when it comes to the playoff time, you could excise that like a cancer and send it off to somebody else to pay. Thank you, Joey Gallo, for your participation this year. We'll figure out which one of those 3 is going to be gone next. Moving on.
Headline 1.
Dallas Cowboys defensive tackle Tristan Hill suspended 2 games for punching Las Vegas Raiders offensive guard John Simpson. You know who writes letters these days, gentlemen? Apparently, it is the NFL Vice President of Football Operations, John Runyon, as he sent a letter to Hill for violations of unnecessary roughness and unsportsmanlike conduct rules. Quote, after the Las Vegas Raiders Dallas Cowboys game on November 25th, you, talking to Hill, engaged in conduct that this office considers unnecessary roughness and displays lack of sportsmanship, specifically as both teams were shaking hands. You waited more than 50 seconds for your opponent at the 50-yard line. When you located him, you then walked over to him in the opposite direction of your locker room. You both engaged in verbal chest-to-chest confrontation confrontation, which you escalated by throwing an open-hand punch to his face mask, forcible enough to cause your opponent's helmet to come off, Runyon wrote in the letter to Hill, and that's how you get suspended 2 games, gentlemen.
John Runyon?
That is
the John Runyon.
He's the perfect disciplinarian because ain't nobody going to talk back to John Runyon. It sounded
2
like
games.
a legal brief. It sounded like a DA's charge. I mean, you did willfully and attack this dude. Dude,
2 games.
If it wasn't been caught on video, nothing would have happened. This isn't the first or the last time that a couple players are going to go at it post game, but it was caught on video, dude. And you were already in a scuffle during the game. 2 games. It's out, with the Cowboys, though, specifically, I think it is getting out of hand. I think the league is sending a little message to McCarthy and his reckless Cowboys because we've had this is not the first incident with a Cowboy throwing a punch, getting into a scuffle this season.
Some people go to jail for assault charges for things like that. So, 2 games probably isn't that bad. In real life, not on the football field.
Yeah, I think the Cowboys are getting a bit out of hand. That was a message to the rest of the league, of the team, too, that this kind of crap ain't gonna fly. Who was the other one? Didn't we have a kind of a post-game scuffle about a month ago? We did.
Like
you said, it happens.
It was with this happens. They've been a part of it. Now there was video of it. And Tristan, dude, that was sucker punch. That was low. It was. I mean, you're gonna square off. I have no problem with going hands, but that was
with the penalties and then stuff like this, you got to start to wonder: is there discipline issues? Are there discipline issues there?
Yeah, there are. They're loose, but they're loose because they're confident, and I think there's a fine line you got to hold on to. There's the Miami Hurricane when things started crumbling, that over exuberance that led to losses. You can't go that far. You can't go mid 90s Raiders or mid 80s Raiders.
Yeah.
Then you start losing games because of it. But McCarthy more than once has told us he wants his cornerbacks and his defense to play with some swag. He wants confidence. He wants the guys to be eager to back it up.
He doesn't want them to be Tyson Fury, though.
No, that's terrible. Yeah. And I think it took the league to slap him on the hand. Like 2 games, that is a lot, especially for the Cowboys that are suffering in the defensive line.
2 checks.
They knew exactly what they were doing when they did it. Moving on.
Headline 0.
I didn't think Tristan had it in him, quite frankly.
Me either.
Fresno State Kalen DeBoer hired as football coach at Washington, the school announced Monday. DeBoer replaces Jimmy Lake, who was fired November 14th after serving just 13 games as head coach over 2 seasons. DeBoer will head to Seattle after spending just 2 seasons at Fresno State, where he compiled a 12-6 record, including a 9-3 mark this season.
I know one thing about him without ever hearing his name before. He's vaccinated.
I mean, he was coaching in Cali. Yeah, everybody in California is vaccinated.
So I know that about him.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, easy pickings for that gig. I think Washington, probably a bit more than Washington State, is a sleeping giant. That Washington has a history.
They've been to a playoff.
But yeah, of playing top-notch football. They certainly recruit in a rich recruiting area in that northwestern part of the United States. So it's a good gig. It's one of those stepping stone programs. So good luck to the guy.
Yeah.
That's the 411 and a 210.
Spurs successfully defend their home court. The Wizards come to town, and the Wizards dance away empty-handed as the Spurs take down the Wizards 116-99. That was a
good win, man. I mean, the Washington Wizards, I mean, I know most people don't pay attention. They've been playing well this season.
Absolutely, they have. They were number 3 in the East. They come in. The Spurs have taken down 2 East Coast foes, the Celtics and the Wizards, in a row. We'll look at this when we come back. We got some Spurs talk for you, and we'll go down the payroll of baseball as the offseason spending spree continues. 8 o'clock, you don't want to go anywhere. We're going to look in the college football world. The carousel is spinning quickly, but it's going to end fast. A huge domino fell last night. Brian Kelly lands at LSU on the heels of Lincoln Riley landing at USC. Who fills the other voids, and how is Kelly going to do? We'll talk about it at 8 o'clock, and we want you to be a part of it. Coming back, Spurs talk, though, 2 in a row. It's the Spurs head west. You're on R&R in the morning, and this is San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Oh, Rudy, I want to go to Carzoos, but I still owe money on my car. Don't worry. Do not worry. Carzoos will call your lender with you, get a 20-day payoff and the title information. If your offer is more than the payoff, they'll issue 2 checks. One to the lender for the payoff amount and one to you for the positive equity difference that day. Now, if your offer is less than the payoff, you'll be required to bring the difference to Carzoos in the form of a cashier's check. That allows them to send the whole amount to pay off your loan and obtain a title, and which is the great thing about CarZeus. They've been helping people out of financial crunches for quite some time. So don't worry, 60% of their business, maybe less, give or take 60% of their business is done with people that have, owe a little bit of money. So go to CarZeus.com. That's CarZeus.com. And also, if you have a friend or family member, somebody, you may not have a car, but a friend or family member may have one that they're trying to get rid of, go to CarZeus.com/referral, refer them. CarZeus buys the car, they'll give you a little bit of Amazon money, and that never hurt anybody. So go and check them out. Or if you want to sell yours, go to CarZeus.com, upload some photos, let them know about the condition of the vehicle, set your appointment. You get in and out of there within an hour with a check in hand. So, and again, no worries, no hassle. They're not going to, harass you, because they know when you go look around, CarZeus is probably going to be the best offer. It happens all the time. So give it a shot. If you know a family member, or if you want to get rid of a car, you have a payoff, go and check them out. If you don't believe me, that's CarZeus.com. That's CarZeus.com.
Sports Center is brought to you by Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds, available at HEB.
The San Antonio Spurs won their second game in a row last night with a 116-99 victory over the Washington Wizards. DeJounte Murray had 22 points, 10 rebounds, and 8 assists, while Derek White added 24 points, including 18 points in the third quarter, a career high for White for points in a quarter. The UTSA men's basketball team hosted the St. Mary's Rattlers at the Convocation Center and picked up a 75-65 non-conference win in the battle between the two San Antonio universities. The first time the Rattlers and the Roadrunners have met in a men's basketball game since 2002. Dill Dang led the team with 27 points and 11 rebounds for the Roadrunners. And the Texas Rangers signed shortstop Corey Seager to a 10-year, $325 million deal as MLB free agency heats up. For San Antonio Sports Star, I'm Karl Schoening.
If you've been hurt in a crash, do your research. You'll find plenty of lawyers out there. They'll probably do a fine job, but ask yourself, is fine really good enough for you and your family? Don't leave your case to chance. Contact Thomas J. Henry today. San Antonio, Texas.
'Tis the season for savings at Mother's Window Tint, your car stereo and auto security headquarters. Save on 3M Window Tint, 100% legal to get your car dark, dark, dark. This is Texas, baby. 'Tis the season for dark window tint. We do tint front windshields. Yes, 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 we do. And it's perfectly legal, too. At Mother's Window Tint, 'tis the season to make your car go thump, thump, thump. Mother thump. Save on car stereos, amplifiers, and speakers. Save on car alarms. Save on remote starters. Stores in Austin and San Antonio. And on the web at motherswindowtint.com. Are you a people person and like cars? Maybe you can join our team. Contact us by Facebook or on our website, motherswindowtint.com. 'Tis the season to remember. Do it at Mothers and save.
From city streets to back roads, from road warrior to carpooler, there are some things you can always count on, like the reliability, durability, and power of DieHard, America's most trusted auto battery. No matter where your journey takes you, count on DieHard to get you started on the road ahead. Available at your local Advance Auto Parts and participating CarQuest stores.
Right now, I'm getting bombarded with TV ads, postcards, and emails about Medicare Advantage programs, saying what I may be eligible for and what might be available. Sure, everyone wants better coverage, but don't tell me everything there is to know. Tell me what I need to know. EasyMedicare.com does just that. They cut through the confusion and give me simple, easy answers. Which plans let me keep my doctor, cover my prescriptions, and are accepted at my pharmacy? No guesswork, just answers.
Go to EasyMedicare.com. That's the letter E, the letter Z, Medicare.com. Or call 1-888-486-1662 to talk to a licensed insurance agent. But do it now. You've only got through December 7th. EasyMedicare.com. We make choosing a Medicare plan easy. 1-888-486-1662.
EasyMedicare.com is owned and operated by eTelco Insurance Inc. A duly licensed insurance agent. Neither eTelco Insurance Inc. nor EasyMedicare.com is connected with or endorsed by the U.S. government and federal Medicare program. California, Florida, and New Mexico, we operate as eTelco Insurance.
Tune in to The Blitz today for the ESPN San Antonio Injury Update, powered by the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. Catch up on the latest injuries and how it'll affect your team. The Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. Online at tsaog.com.
For the ones finding new ways to ensure the job always gets done. For the ones wearing many hats. For the ones who are hands-on, even from far away. And the ones keeping business moving forward. We are Grainger, offering supplies and solutions for every industry, with 24/7 support and experienced staff at over 250 local branches. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Fansville, a college football utopia. Fansville, where the lakes are stocked with ice-cold Dr. Pepper, and the autumn winds rustle with the sweet smell of football glory. And Dr. Pepper. It's a land flowing with onion dip, where even the food pyramid is shaped like a hot dog. Football. Where every yard gained is a yard worth celebrating, and every celebration is beyond excessive. With ice-cold Dr. Pepper. Return to glory this season with Fansville by Dr. Pepper. Grab some today.
The best seat in the house is on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
It's R&R in the morning, the complete edition. He's Rudy J. I'm Rob Thompson. Thanks for dialing us in on a Tuesday. Carl's going to drive this boat till 10 o'clock. We're going to talk baseball in a couple of minutes. The payroll, they're backing up the Brinks trucks. And keep in mind that there is a lockout imminent. There's labor unrest.
Yeah, their deal expires Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
So
they got time to settle it.
Yeah.
But as we were just talking about it, anytime an owner pleads poverty, leave the room.
Yeah.
It's
so
a
don't believe
non-starter. Don't believe any professional franchise owner. I don't care what sport. Don't trust them.
And I also think the Rangers are trying to get ahead of the curve because this whole, the floor? Like you have to spend.
Yeah, you got to spend some money.
Yeah, you don't want to be the team that's like, you see, this is an example of the teams that we're talking about. The Players Association is going to be pointing at teams like the Pirates and the Royals, like, look at these guys. They're spending $57 million for the entire roster.
Right.
You know what I mean? You don't want to be that person at the negotiating tables that hadn't spent any money, and then your records show you made 100, but you only spent 50. But some owners are in it as a business.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's right or wrong, but some owners are there and they run it like a business.
Met getting $41 million. Scherzer, what's he getting?
Well, see, this is the thing about Scherzer. At least Scherzer has to go out there. John Wall doesn't have to even do that.
Well,
does he even go to practice? Does John Wall even practice?
Rudy, he wants to play.
I think
he's asking to play.
This isn't, look, I don't care how much money you have. You're a professional athlete. You got pride. Like, this is embarrassing for John Wall. Like, not only does the Rockets not want you, no one else in the league does either. Everybody in the league is like, he's not worth 40. Like, that hurts. That hurts. I don't care how much money you have in the bank.
Spurs win.
Yes, they did. 2 in a row, baby. That's over 2 solid teams.
We talked about it when the season was in its infancy.
What do we say?
When the Spurs win, they're a fun team to watch because that's a fun style of basketball to play.
It's different. It's taking some getting used to, seeing the Spurs get up and down.
A little looser.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not,
but it's controlled. Fun. It is fun.
But, and it's Pop's creating the chaos. I think he wants to, and now we're, controlling the chaos a little bit.
Right.
And when we're not controlling the chaos is when the Spurs don't look necessarily well, and that's when they normally cough up leads. But I think that the scar tissue is developing. The open wound of the consistently choking away a lead with 6 minutes to go, that hurts. And eventually you learn to play through that and not pay attention to it. And you start developing that scar where whatever you do, it doesn't matter. That area doesn't hurt anymore. We're going to beat you.
Right.
And that's 2 consecutive games where they faced a run in the 4th, held on tight, and closed it out convincingly by 4 minutes to go. The game's over. That's an NBA game.
We were worried.
Oh,
just like we were worried. It's like we were worried with Boston. But hey,
Brendan hits a big shot. Thaddeus plays well.
Get a man more minutes. What's going on? But I'm tired of saying it, but you got to trust the process. It takes time. Now, you said something, Rob, that's going to make not going to make Jimenez and Pledger too happy. You said you're officially off the tank wagon. First of all, you were never on it, but I get where you're coming from when you say that.
Well,
but
no, let me qualify what I'm saying.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think the Spurs are already young enough. Now, do I want another draft pick? Absolutely, I do.
Okay,
but I do think that combined with youth, there needs now to be the masterful big puzzle pieces, the guys that will put together this group of talent. You're gonna have to play baseball manager on this and look at, okay, I've got this guy that does this, I got this guy that does this, I've got these guys that do several things. What's the piece that's going to bring these guys together? That's where we've gotten to now. I'm not saying trade every draft pick. I want a high draft pick, but I think the Spurs are now young enough. I mean, we're just now getting a taste.
But you
of
still
Devin
take a
Vassell.
top 5 pick that could be the franchise.
Oh yes.
Okay.
Man.
Okay.
If there's a Paolo Banchero available, dude, I'm down.
That's the kid from Duke, right?
Yes.
That you just in love with.
After what I saw against Gonzaga, just call it a day, man. I don't need any more film.
So you think he's going to go before the kid from Gonzaga?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Oh, but absolutely. Timmy's probably a late first-round pick. Late.
The 7-foot
talking Chet.
Oh no, yeah, Chet Holmgren. No,
yeah, that's what I'm talking. Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
That guy's a long-term project, and it's not anything I want. Although there is some Porzingis there. There is something there. I don't think that we need to be as young. I think it's time to start using some of these youthful pieces for bait and trades and things like that. But I'm still chasing it. But what we saw last night was a team that didn't look young, that had veteran help with Bryn Forbes timely shooting, Thaddeus Young. I'm just looking for better guys like that.
Yeah.
A better Bryn Forbes, a better Thaddeus.
I think, again, it just depends on what the goal is. I don't know. Like, I'm not down there. I don't know Brian. I don't know Pop. But if the goal is to hey, we want to win as many games as possible. We want to get Pop this record. Bryn and Thad have to play more.
Well, Bryn's got to play better.
Oh, because you need the veteran calming. I mean, Derek. I consider Derek and DeJounte vets too, though.
Yes,
while they're young,
they're in the prime.
I consider them vets.
They're early prime both.
You need vets to close out games,
and that's what we got.
That's what you got, right? And Pop talked about Derek in a couple of those cuts. He's just like, hey, with COVID and injuries, he lost confidence, and now he's back to going left to right, spinning. He's back to doing things that he was doing before. And again, this is what DeJounte's been waiting on, someone to be his sidekick. Like, DeJounte's been fantastic. He's been so fantastic. Karl Schoenig said he's better than Dame Lillard right now. And we had a full blown.
What happens in prep? He threw it against the wall. I'm not sure it's stuck.
We got a matchup coming up soon against the
Blazers.
We can revisit
Thursday night. We get to talk about this, and we had we almost didn't finish the rundown because Karl said that. But if Derek White's going to play like that, we might get to this 26 a little bit quicker than we thought.
Aggressive offense from Derek White last night. He's 10 of 21.
That third quarter was special.
Yes, that was the Derek White of 2 years ago. Post
2019.
2 years ago, post rodeo road trip when Derek really became a player and into the Denver series. That's the Derek White we saw last night. And Pop's right; it's confidence, but he's 10 of 21 from three. He's shooting well as well. But the Spurs as a whole are what they are. Now, 44% from three, it looks pretty. That's a nice number.
I don't know if we can sustain that, but I loved it.
It was on only 18 attempts. So timely threes, yes. And that's always been Pop's modus operandi.
I think Pop would love to be at 18. He understands the analytics better than anybody. Spurs were using the analytics before it became a thing. They just kept it to themselves. But if in Pop's world, if he could, they would shoot less than 23s every game. But he understands that sometimes you have to put up more. But that was perfect for Pop. He hates the 3-ball era. 18 threes for him at 44%. He'll take that all day long over 53s at 29%. He'll take that all day long.
An interesting thing I've noticed, and I imagine it's probably a coaching experiment in the G League, the Austin Spurs answer a made three-pointer with usually a three-point attempt just to try and keep up the volume.
Are you serious?
That's typical of the league now.
And that's pretty much what you got to do, because there will be a team like Utah that'll come in and they'll shoot 43s in a game, and if they make 12 of those, you're in trouble.
Dude, this is like, it's got to be a player's dream.
It's a player's dream, yeah.
I know I can't shoot, but guess what? The analytics say I get to come down and jack one up from 35. That is insane to think about. Like, hey, they just made a three, y'all. We got to go put one up.
Got to match it.
What?
And that is the most difficult thing, I think, for fans to understand from older coaches is the very idea of sacrificing a possession just to keep up with the other team. Because possessions matter. You only get so many of them in a game, and you have to capitalize on them. And the very idea of sacrificing one of them, even though it might be manufactured by the speed of the game, just hurts. I mean, just to think I only get so many of these, and I'm gonna sacrifice this one just to maintain momentum or just to keep up with the other team by a one pass and a shot, when that is counter to everything we work on in practice.
Yeah.
The good to better, better to best, the mantra, that doesn't play in the modern day. It is good. Is it good? Take it. That's all that matters.
Right.
There's no better and there's no best. Is it good? That's all that matters.
Yeah. When we were coming up, Coach had maybe 2 players that were allowed to shoot
That's
threes.
it. And even then,
it wasn't the whole team.
When the Spurs won a championship in the 2005 run, I'm pretty sure they were averaging like 6 attempts a game.
Yes.
6.
And they were
it's like 6
bailouts.
to 12.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's usually like end of the shot clock. Okay, Bruce, try a 3.
That's because there were fewer possessions
my
back then.
God.
You just couldn't
Yeah.
sacrifice it because you were playing defense for 20 seconds into the clock. Now, if you play defense for 6 seconds, it's a sustained defensive effort.
Mm-hmm. He said the Golden State effect. I actually think is the D'Antoni Houston Rockets.
Oh, that's
also.
what it is. It will.
I mean, don't get me wrong. The Golden State mastered it, but remember, D'Antoni was doing 7 seconds or less with Phoenix.
Well, it goes back to Paul Westhead, and even as far back as Doug Moe with the Denver Nuggets.
And I'd even go as far back as Wilt Chamberlain and Stan Albeck with the San Diego Conquistadors. They were, I think, 8th in field goal percentage out of 12 teams in the ABA that year, but they were second in scoring because they were averaging 8 attempts a game from 3. Yes, I did pull out of 73.
Conquistadors? I don't even know Conquistadors, and I'm 14 years older than you.
They became the Clippers eventually.
No. They are defunct.
Yeah.
The Conquistadors of San Diego were an ABA team that didn't make it to 76.
Well, the Conquistadors became the Clippers in San Diego, and the San Diego Clippers eventually made it to LA.
Who trades Wilt Chamberlain?
So Wilt actually signed as a free agent when he was with the Lakers, with the ABA, and the NBA sued him to where he could not play. So he became the player coach because that was like what the court agreed on. And Stan Albeck was actually the head coach. So Wilt and Stan kind of said, we're just going to shoot a lot of threes. And Wilt was more of a mascot. He only did it 1 year, and then he retired.
Westhead with the Nuggets back in the early 80s was the looking for 120 possessions a game.
So so he was doing this back in the day.
That was the original air raid offense in the NBA back in the idea of just shot after shot at Michael Adams and Alex English and those guys. Kiki Vandeweghe just made a living. Just
Alex English underrated.
High score. I mean, in that offense, just bucket after bucket. But it just has been so successful. It's successful regular season stuff, but it just has never worked up until now in the NBA. It's been adopted as a.
But if you see a game like that, you say they only take 18. So, again, this is what drives coaches crazy and some old players crazy. Like, yes, your analytics say this, but this game last night just showed.
If you play defense,
it doesn't necessarily have to be that way. It's not like set in stone, like you got to do this to win in the NBA. We just saw last night that you don't have to.
But okay, you have made a valid point, and as we go to break, I want to let's focus on that. Okay. You don't have to, but the problem is the players that you're now getting. That's all they know how to play. So now, as you get these 18-year-olds, they've been playing this style possession. Let's move the ball, 2 passes. Let's block a shot. Let's get a steal, and let's make it frenetic. That's the effective way to play in high school and AAU ball. And if you only get 6 months of college, you get a little structure, but that's not how it works. That's why suddenly Kingsbury in the NFL has been effective because he decided, you know what, I've been coaching in college. I know what these guys'
This is what
skill
I'm gonna
set is.
do.
Let me fix this offense. These guys don't have to do much when they get here. Just do what you know from 7-man football, because you're getting these young guys, and like you more than anybody talks about, when you pay your quarterback, you don't have a lot of money to fill all the other positions, so you might as well have a style that you can rotate dudes through.
Yeah,
and that's become the NBA as well. Hey, coming back, we're going to look around the baseball world. Money is flowing, and even the Rangers spending dollars. 8 o'clock, we're talking college coaches as well. So much to get into. Enjoy that ride. Don't mind them brake lights. We'll get you there. This is San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Listen up, everybody. Alamo Cycleplex is now an official dealer of Sea-Doo watercraft products. That's right. Before it gets warm, get your Sea-Doo ready. They're now an official Sea-Doo watercraft dealer. Go and check them out for vehicles, parts, and services, or shop online using the alamocycleplex.com. Also, they're extending their 2050 tire deal through today. So check this out. Their 2050 deal, you get 20% off of MSRP for all tire sales and 50% off of labor. That's clutch, because that's, I mean, in any walk of life, as far as, you know, when you're talking about your cars, you're talking about your motorcycles, the labor can add up. So 20% off of MSRP for all tire sales and 50% off labor when installed through the end of the day. So if you need some tires for that bike or that slingshot, go out there today, because they got a great deal going on. 50% off labor. You can't beat that. Give them a call at 210-696-2000. They got some great things coming up for Christmas. We're going to be able to bring the kids out. You're going to be able to bring the dogs out. Very dog friendly. You know, Dave loves his dog. Dog is always at work, works more than him. So stay tuned to us. They're going to be doing some great stuff for the kiddos and for the doggies out. All the way up through Christmas. So the 2050 tire deal, their Sea-Doo watercraft dealer now. Plenty of reasons to go out to Alamo Cycleplex. Check them out at alamocycleplex.com or give them a call at 210-696-2000. Alamo Cycleplex, we sell fun.
There's no other game like college football. And no one covers it better. It's game day every day for us. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Hello, my name is Jason Thompson, owner of the Thompson Law Firm right here in San Antonio. And for the past 27 years, I have represented people in our community who have been injured because of negligent drivers of cars, 18-wheelers, and company vehicles. I really want you to know that if you're involved in a collision, you need to contact an experienced attorney as soon as possible after the collision. All you may know about an insurance company is what you see on television. If you have ever been forced to make a claim after being injured in an auto collision, there are no jokes, no geckos, no cavemen, no professional athlete endorsers. Just you against a giant insurance company that is represented by skilled adjusters and attorneys who have one job: pay as little as possible. If you've been injured in a collision, please contact an experienced attorney as soon as possible after the collision. I, of course, want you to call me, Jason Thompson. My number is 210-900-0400. That's 900-0400. Or go to my website, alawyerforus.com. That's all one word, alawyerforus.com.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
I'm Pablo Torre, host of ESPN Daily, where every morning we present the best sports story of the day. And ESPN Daily is presented by Supercuts. Supercuts is the perfect way to get a haircut if you're someone who doesn't have time for a haircut. You just check in on the Supercuts app or you walk in for a quality cut. The highly trained stylist at Supercuts can always give you that fresh cut feeling fast. And it's not just any haircut, it's Supercuts. Check in now on the Supercuts app or on supercuts.com.
From city streets to back roads, from road warrior to carpooler, there are some things you can always count on, like the reliability, durability, and power of DieHard, America's most trusted auto battery. No matter where your journey takes you, count on DieHard to get you started on the road ahead. Available at your local Advance Auto Parts and participating CarQuest stores.
A 17-week season. And only one couch. Let's hope it holds up. The Cowboys are back. The explosive action happens here. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
This is Max Kellerman on San Antonio's Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
This is R&R in the morning. He's Rudy, I'm Rob. We got Trans-Siberian Orchestra tickets to give away.
You told me that's pretty cool. I need to check this out. I need to take the kiddos.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
It's kind of a tradition thing.
It's a big deal if it's an AT&T Center.
A lot of people. You want to go? I got a pair of tickets. We'll give them away about 8:30 or so. It's called the hot stove season. Is that what they get in? I've never understood why they call it that in baseball, but it's time for all the free agents to get themselves signed and tucked away before they go away for the winter and return in the spring, refreshed and renewed and newly wealthy. The Rangers have spent, $516 million in the last 3 days?
That's big money. That's big money,
on
man.
fair to Midland talent. I'm not saying
I know, but like you said, we were talking about it before the show during prep. Sometimes you're a team that you may have to overpay for a free agent because of who you are, because you're not, like, again, Correa not looking at the Rangers. So in some cases, you have to the guy you can get, you may have to overpay him.
So the expectation is Correa is going to be the next shortstop to fall.
And where is he going? He going to Detroit? Is he going to Yankees? I've seen Yankee fan tweeting, what are we doing? What's going on? I mean, I can't believe Correa hasn't got signed yet. I thought he'd be one of those guys that were signed at midnight as soon as free agency started.
Well, he hadn't helped himself. In the media, he's talked a little bit about the Yankees in some negative light. But when you look at what Seager signed for with the Rangers,
that's crazy.
10 years, $325.
How old is he?
39?
No, I was about to. He may be 39 at the end of the deal. That's
yeah.
The only thing about those baseball deals. This 10-year deal thing, I don't want to sign. I don't want to guarantee anybody 10 years.
He's 27, by the way.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know what that $32 million looks like when he hits 34, when he hits 33. Like, 10 years is insane to me. Like, for the player, it's like, I've got 10 years, I'm getting $32 million no matter what. And I'm in the state of Texas where there's no state tax. Where do I sign? But for the team, look at Albert Pujols. Did the Angels get their return on the investment with Albert Pujols, which at the time when he signed with them was pretty much the best player in the game? But toward the end of that, it was ugly.
11:59 tomorrow night. The current collective bargaining agreement goes away. The expectation is the Major League Baseball owners are going to lock the players out as they renegotiate a deal with TV money booming, with gambling money, with the influx there. The expectation that the lockout is definitely going to happen. Leverage is always the key in a lockout. I'm not sure how much leverage the owners have anymore.
They have none. The Major League Baseball Players Union is the strongest of all unions. And the reason why is because they're all on the same page. NFL, those players are never on the same page. NBA, everybody's kind of like, we're tired of listening to only LeBron. So the owners always get the short end of the stick in Major League Baseball.
And the only leverage they have is paychecks.
Right.
So you lock them out, you don't have to pay them.
Yeah, but they'll be locked out. Thursday, we'll be coming in here Thursday morning about the lockout has started.
Players certainly want a larger share of their revenue. And I don't think it's hard to argue that players aren't worth 60% of the revenue. I know it's 50-50. That's where most of them want to.
I want to say baseball might be the MLB may be at 57.
I think they're
somewhere up there. They're close to 60.
And it's hard to argue that they're not worth more than that, quite frankly.
We heard Stoops say it when he was trying to, cheer up the OU fan base. Like, hey, the players, like, there's no one person that's bigger than the program. The players are the reason why we are who we are. So if you take what Bob Stoops said, what up, Drew? To the people, like, hey, it's about the players, it's about the players. that goes back to what you just said, Robin. Like, yeah, you can't argue that they deserve 57 because if without them, there are no $10 hot dogs and 30. And no, what do we pay? $18 for a Michelob Ultra at the Astros game. $18. Right. I still have a hard time hearing that. I get back to my seat. Rob's like, that. Enjoy that. he was like, these 3 beers cost me $54.
Drink that slow.
And I said, what? And I looked, I was like, this can of Ultra was $18.
It was good, though.
It was great.
It was
the best beer I've ever had.
Unfortunately, the Astros didn't live up to their side of the bargain.
But no, baseball money is different. And they don't, I mean, it's like, again, like a Scherzer, like you work once you work once a week. Like, think about that. You work once a week to get $40 million a year. $40 million a year to work once a week. So what do you do the other 4 days? Because a pitcher only pays every
count
fifth
your
day.
money. You play golf. You check your spot investments. You make sure that the money is flowing in the right directions, and you go play some golf, and you get a little loose, warm up. Now
they are gone from their families quite a bit.
Yeah, baseball players, it's rough, but it's the best life. Baseball. Every professional baseball player I know, they live a good life.
Those are your favorite athletes?
They're the best guys to hang around with. Baseball guys are great to hang around with.
It's also the most family-friendly sport where it's like, hey, we're going to be in San Francisco for 5 days. You want to come out?
Yeah, they just live a different
you know what?
kind
That's
of
true.
life.
Like, I could fly. It could fly the family out.
The pace is different,
especially in the summer before the kids go back to school. Like, hey, come hang out with us. We got 4 games staying in San Fran, which would be awesome.
Yeah, you're
like, hey, honey, we're in San Diego for 4 days. Bring the kids out here. Let's go surfing.
You know what I mean? Keep in mind that for the longest time, baseball had a problem with the use of amphetamines in the game because there's just so many of them. It's a slower pace. They had to take speed just to get themselves up to play in a game.
I heard there were bowls of greenies.
Yes, greenies.
Just like bowls of them.
Yes.
Just laying around the
Just
clubhouse.
because a Saturday afternoon in the late July, you've been at this for a bit, and there's a long time to go. It is hot. I mean, it's just a pastoral style of game. Those guys just live a different life.
Cal Ripken was a weirdo then.
To do it for that long.
How many games? 2,600 games in a row? Something around there?
But how hard could it be if you're able to do it 2,600 times in a row? I mean, you could look at it from that angle.
Well, you can look at some of their bodies.
Well, yeah.
You look at some of their bodies and be like, oh, not the most athletic guys in the world. I look at Big Papi like, dude.
Or Cecil. Like any of the fielders for that matter.
They're the dad bods of pro sports for sure.
I like the big pitchers, man.
Yeah.
Fat pitchers and fat kickers. Spin the sports world. Hey, coming back.
Let's say long ball temp roulette.
What?
Let's say long ball temp roulette.
Is that your Brian
That's
Kelly?
my impression of Brian Kelly. The beginning of Mardi Gras.
Hey, let's say ball temp roulette.
It's crazy, dude. Brian Kelly, like 2 weeks ago, was like, I think Mike Tomlin said it best. I'm not going anywhere unless someone got $250 million.
So we
What
laugh.
about $125, Brian?
We laugh at coaches every year. Let's talk about the carousel. It has stopped in the most bizarrest of ways. The Notre Dame coach, the winningest all-time Notre Dame coach, is now taking residence in LSU. He's a Tiger. Brian Kelly lands with LSU. Who lands at Notre Dame? What the hell's going on in the coaching world, and will it work? We'll talk about it next. Hang around. You're on R&R in the Morning here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Karzus was professional and clear during my sale. The web form was very easy. And I'll stop there. That is so huge because, again, I am horrible on the web. So I am horrible on the web. I'm horrible at all those things, anything to do with the internet. So the fact that Karzus makes it super easy on the web is so important because, again, one, you need it, but two, you need to make it easy if you're going to do it. And Karzus does that well. Again, I dealt with 3 or 4 people during the 2 days by text messages, but they were all working together at the end, so it wasn't a drawback. Each message was added to my file. I also uploaded my car repair showing I had repaired an AC system, and they took that into account in their offer. And, of course, their offer was better than the other 2 places I tried. That is a 5-star Google review from a super satisfied Karzus customer. And, again, they make the web so easy for you. So if you're trying to sell that car, to make your to make your appointment goes much faster. Go to carzeus.com, upload pictures, let them know the condition of the car, set that appointment. You get in there, my man Jeff will drive your car around, make sure it works, make sure all the bells and whistles work, and they're going to get you in and out in under an hour. And if you like the offer, they're going to give you a check in hand. So nothing better than walking out with the check in hand in under an hour. So if you set that appointment at 11 a.m., you're out of there by 11:50, 11:55, maybe even 11:45 with the check. You cannot beat that. And then you take that check to the car dealership with your chest poked out and you're in control of the sale. Don't take your car in to get the trade in. Toyota Carzeus, sell them the car, then go to the car dealership with the check. So, and now's a great time right before the end of the year. So carzeus.com, that's carzeus.com. And don't forget about the great referral program. Refer a friend. If they buy the car that you referred, they're going to give y'all some Amazon money. You got about 25 days until a pretty important day, which is Christmas. So go and get you some Amazon money. That's carzeus.com. That's carzeus.com.
It's time to get your hoops on. The NBA season is off to a fast start. North, south, east, west. Step back for three. Bang, got it. The courts are firing with board busting and rim wrecking in your face balling. Deep three straight away. Oh, we got another one. And we got it all covered. Everything a fan like you wants, and then some.
Hammers a right-hand dunk.
Get the latest on your game on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
If you were hurt in a crash, it's important to act fast. Instead of haggling with insurance, just call Thomas J. Henry. Remember, the call is free and you don't pay us any fees unless we win your case. Contact Thomas J. Henry today. San Antonio, Texas.
Hey, Dallas Cowboy fans, Jason Minix here, letting you know Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys, and San Antonio Sports Star, we're throwing a viewing party for the Cowboys-Saints game this Thursday out at R&J Saloon. We'll start with a live broadcast of the Blitz from 4 to 7, then stick around and watch the Cowboys take on the Saints. Enjoy $2 Miller Lite long necks during the game and register to win some great Miller Lite Dallas Cowboys gear and other great holiday stuff. That's this Thursday, 4 to 7 at R&J Saloon on South Flores.
With just one spray of Microban 24, your hard surfaces are sanitized for up to 24 hours. Touch after touch after touch.
So 6 hours from now?
Still sanitized.
12 hours?
Yep.
18 hours.
We're really doing this.
24 hours.
When used as directed, one spray of Microban keeps killing 99.9% of bacteria touch after touch for, up to 24 hours.
Wow.
Microban 24, the sanitizer 4 out of 5 doctors would use in their own homes. So why aren't you?
Tune in to the Blitz today for the ESPN San Antonio Injury Update, powered by the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. Catch up on the latest injuries and how it'll affect your team. The Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. Online at TSAOG.com.
There's a confusion about how to protect yourself from COVID. But one thing is for sure. Whether or not you're vaccinated, you need an accurate thermometer. Contact your medical provider at the first sign of fever, the leading sign of COVID and the flu. Only the Exergen Temporal Scanner Thermometer has been proven accurate in more than 100 clinical studies. Be vigilant and don't rely on non-contact thermometers. They have no scientific studies behind them and can miss the fever that might mean COVID. Learn more at Exergen.com.
At CDW, we get the challenge of managing data across different environments.
Our company data is everywhere, in the cloud, on servers. I just found some data under my couch cushions.
Well, wherever it lives, CDW experts can streamline your data across hybrid cloud environments and unlock your cloud's full potential with NetApp Cloud Services.
That's great. Ow!
You okay?
Yeah, I just stepped on some data.
IT orchestration by CDW. People who get it. Find out more at cdw.com/NetApp.
Did you know the arrow in Amazon's logo represents A to Z? Maybe the My Computer Career logo should represent unemployed to employed. Ryan was out of work when he started classes in March. In September, he started his IT career, working for Amazon, making more money than he ever thought possible. Here's a prime opportunity. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. You could start your new life as an IT pro in as little as 4 months. It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
5G is here, but the big carriers want you to sign a pricey long-term contract to get in on the action. Well, no more, because Straight Talk Wireless has rolled out 5G coverage nationwide, with plans starting at just $35 a month with no contract. And get a Samsung Galaxy A32 5G for only $299, all on America's best networks. 5G coverage, 5G phones, less money. Straight Talk Wireless, no contract, no compromise. 5G capable device required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary.
Nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate. I'm a speed bump. Did you hear what I said? I'm a speed bump. And if you have cut rate car insurance, the cost to reattach your muffler could really be a bump in the road. So switch to Allstate, save money, and be better protected from mayhem, like me.
Based on coverage and limits selected, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. In most states, prices vary based on how you buy. Allstate Bar and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
It's not just Santa who's coming to town, it's also your in-laws and their cousins. So time for some gifts from the Home Depot. From doorbell cameras to intelligent thermostats, you'll look smart and save big on the latest smart home gifts. Does your father-in-law like to fix things around the house? Put him to work with a DeWalt 20-volt 2-battery starter kit. Buy one, get one free. That should keep him busy. No matter who comes to town this year, make the holidays yours with savings on tools and gifts store-wide from the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
One team, one mission. KZDC, San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Rob Thompson, Rudy J. R&R in the morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning to you. It is R&R in the morning, a Tuesday edition. He is Rudy J, comfortably ensconced in the glass box of fun. Welcome back. Karl on the other side of the double pane glass. We're going till 10 o'clock. This hour, we're talking college football. Brian Kelly, the new LSU head coach. Look at the Dallas Cowboys as COVID has struck yet again. They are the most affected by COVID this season. They've had different 25 to this count. Now, I do expect it to get larger today. 25 to date, different coaches and players either contact traced or lose time by testing positive so far this season. And we got news about 10:30 yesterday. Well, after Coach McCarthy, anyway, had joined us live, that he has tested positive, and that was coming off the heels of 100% negatives on Sunday.
That's crazy.
Yeah, we'll look at the role that COVID will play at this and the rest of the season, and also talk a little Monday Night Football. Russell Wilson was spectacular in a loss. I have a question that we'll get to at 8:30. Who's more likely to be on another team next year, Russell or Aaron? We'll get there at 8:30. But first, get the news last night that Brian Kelly is the new LSU head coach. And my knee-jerk reaction right now, well, immediately, and it hadn't changed, is this is going to be an abject failure. This is a culture class, the likes of which never succeed. Never. This is not going to work.
A culture clash?
He is a Midwestern Big Ten football coach that has had the luxury of recruiting a very unique athlete to be successful. A great athlete that is also chasing education. And in football, there are only really two destinations for that. You're either going to go to Notre Dame or Stanford.
Right.
That's where you land. And when you recruit those guys, you're only recruiting, there's 5 of those guys in Texas. That's it. There's 3 of those guys in Ohio State or in Ohio, maybe same amount as Texas. I mean, but you're recruiting a very unique athlete that is not the same as recruiting the great athletes that go to SEC. Not that you can't continue to recruit those guys, but you're bringing in a different style. And then there's just your ability to recruit. He has, I guess he's got some kind of connection to high school coaches in the South. I don't think it's as big as there's just so many reasons why this shouldn't work. And as Karl brought it up so perfectly, LSU got their guy. It was just the 6th guy on their list.
Well, first off, hold on. They went to him a long time ago, and he turned it down.
They chased Lincoln Riley till the bitter end, and they couldn't afford him. Lincoln chose another path.
Look, I don't know. Look, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it's going to work at LSU, but this is what I will say. First of all, I didn't know he had more wins than Lou Holtz, but
he's been there a decade, I think.
Yeah,
so it's
12 years. 12 years. Yeah. He's reached his ceiling at Notre Dame. Like, you get to the playoffs and you get killed because you just don't have the athletes that Alabama has. You don't have the athletes that Clemson does. So I get why the man was looking for some type of change. I mean, don't get me wrong, $15 million a year helps out quite a bit. But I fully understand. It's like, dude, I'm tired. Like, what else can I do here?
I have no problem with him leaving.
Right.
I think it's a shoot. I'd have left too. Go coach at LSU in the SEC, knowing that Notre Dame, I'm restricted by, I don't have a conference. I do have my own TV deal. There's a lot of autonomy that he's given up.
Right.
He won't be the only player. He won't be the only game in town anymore. He's just one in the West and one of a bigger conference. I think I'd have taken the offer. I don't know why that's the question to me. I just don't think, I think LSU isn't settling. They're getting a good coach, but a guy whose culture is not that of where he is landing.
But now in the West, you have Kelly, Saban, Jimbo, Lane Kiffin. Was Lane in the West? It's stacked over there in the West, man.
And Leach. Don't leave out Leach.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess we're gonna have to wait and see, you know, how well he's gonna be able to recruit.
You look at all the others. They have roots in the South. All of them. Lane Kiffin to a lesser extent, but you know, he is youthful and has been successful.
Jimbo had Florida.
All of them have had roots, have coached in Texas or in the South. Leach had a little exit there going to the Northwest, but he was coaching in Tech and recruiting the same fields as everybody else. Kelly's coming down with this national, but he is going to have to go hyper local in his hiring. He's going to have to go.
He's gonna have to get used to Houston. LSU does really, really well in Houston. He's gonna have to get acquainted with Houston traffic. But you get the feeling with LSU, they wanted to make a splash. Like they didn't want some hot coordinator. No. That's why, I mean, whenever you overspend like this, I'm sure Brian Kelly told his agent, like, dude, tell him him $15 million a year.
We'll talk.
And he kind of probably thought they were going to say no, and they said yes. And then he was like, oh, damn, I got a decision to make. But yeah, that's what I get the feeling with LSU. Like, I don't know if this is the right hire, and I don't know if he's going to fail or succeed, but they wanted to make a splash. And I think when you're trying to make a splash instead of just trying to get it right, it can backfire. So I will give you that as far as him failing. Again, is this the right guy? I mean, he's done well to get to, again, Texas ain't been in no 14 playoff. So the fact that he's been in a 14 playoff with Notre Dame, with his recruiting restrictions, why can't he do it at LSU? Why not?
I think it's a culture issue. I think that when it comes down to it, you sign with coaches that you feel comfortable with. And people are going to cite Nick Saban. Saban came from Michigan State and was a Big Ten coach that was moderately successful, but not great. Chip Kelly's far more successful, playoff bound and all that. But Nick Saban is from West Virginia. He grew up in the region. He knows the mentality. Look at when Brent Bielema came from not the same, but close, came from Wisconsin to Arkansas. He was going to bring the Big Ten mentality, and we're going to recruit 6'10", 500-pound offensive linemen, and we are going to run the football. And it felt like it was going to work. That coming into the SEC, he had the right idea about what it takes to be successful, and it's on the line. Offensive and defensively, we're going to be bigger and stronger than anybody else. And everybody thought that will work. That should in the SEC. Arkansas can go get those. It didn't. It was an abject failure because he did not connect with the type of player that he wanted. Those kind of guys connect with Jimbo. They connect with Ogeron.
And I think it was already that the tide was already turning from the big slow guy to a much more up-tempo game. So he came a little late because the game was already changing, even in the SEC, to a more fast-paced game, and he kind of got left behind.
When you think of Notre Dame offensively, what are they? What is Notre Dame?
I don't know. I think it's a pro. I think it's a
pro style.
It's a pro style offense.
Mm-hmm. And he'll recruit fine for that. I'm not saying that LSU won't be moderately successful, but he is not going to show up and put this program in a position like I expect even Lane Kiffin is capable of in Ole Miss. I don't see it. I think it's a culture issue. I think in 4 years, not only will he have difficulty bringing in the guys he wants, I don't think he's going to get along well with his alumni. I think he's a different cat in a different place, and it's going to be difficult for him to settle in. This is a Midwestern Notre Dame coach. And can imagine him sitting in a crawfish shack somewhere off Lake Pontchartrain with Thibodeau, who's been offering, hundreds of thousands of dollars from his shrimp farm every year. the connectivity there, I just don't see it.
I don't know. Brian Kelly looks like he's going to enjoy the Cajun food.
Well, I think he'll enjoy the food, but the dialect, it'll be like a foreign language.
Right.
Can you imagine Brian Kelly showing up in Pascagoula, Mississippi, trying to land that 2-star running back that hadn't been out of Mississippi much, and Brian Kelly comes sits down with that Midwestern, we're going to make sure, it just doesn't feel like it's going to fit. Just my thought.
He just said 2 weeks ago he wasn't leaving.
Every coach says it, man.
That.
Lincoln, not LSU. I ain't going to LSU.
He wasn't lying.
No, he wasn't lying. But you could be truthful and say, but why do we expect that?
But Lincoln's a genius. Let's
talk about Lincoln Riley.
It's a genius move because the Pac-12 is up for grabs. I have 2 Heisman Trophy winners so I can get the QB. I could take over the Pac-12 within 2 years.
Absolutely.
Whereas I'm about to go to the SEC, and I have a quarterback controversy. Like we're not built for the SEC. We're not going to be relevant in the SEC for a couple years. Oklahoma's had a good. Oklahoma's been the cream of the crop in the Big 12. I'm not going to disrespect them, and they've been in playoffs. But you're not gonna do that in the SEC. You go to USC and you have 1 loss. He's in the playoff again. It was a genius move by Lincoln Riley. An OU fan. My gosh, you're better than that, I think. Have you seen the stuff they're saying to Lincoln Riley? Like the dude gave you his best. He done all he could do.
Stoops left early for him to stay. Stoops left earlier than he wanted to make sure that Lincoln Riley.
Okay, let's be clear. Lincoln Riley could have left 3 years ago.
Oh no, I'm not saying that what OU
but
fans
some
say
of the
is right.
stuff they're doing and saying, I'm like, yo, stay classy, OU.
It is bad on Twitter, but it also is like the long-term girlfriend or the wife that you thought was going to be there forever. It's just like, no, I'm leaving you for somebody hotter in Los Angeles.
Or just different.
See you later. No,
not hotter, just different. It's a genius move. It's on both sides. This is the best hire in college. I'm trying to think back to a hire that I went, yes, sir, that's perfect.
That fits, right.
And Lincoln Riley at USC, yes, sir, that's perfect because it fits a couple of the narratives that needed to be fixed. There was something endemically wrong with the USC football program. You don't fall on that kind of hard time for this length of period. Look at University of Texas. It's not about the coach. You've had a couple of those guys. That wasn't it. The problem still is the same problems you're dealing with the day before you hired Frank Wilson. Charlie Strong. The day before, the problems that you were dealing with then, you're still dealing with them. So it ain't the coaches. It's something else. USC, they've gone through Clay Helton, Ogeron, I don't know, Lane Kiffin, all these guys that have come through. It ain't the coach. It's the system. But this time they realized to fix the system, we got to go from without. We got to go out to somebody who has been successful, that understands what it takes to fight back against the abrasion that is, I don't know, the athletic department at USC. Perfect hire.
And he has 4 or 5 Cali commits, 4-star, 5-star, that he's going to be able to flip.
Absolutely.
He'll be able to flip. Like, you want to stay close to home now? Much better weather, more stuff to do. More NIL, well, not more NIL money, but easier access to NIL money. Like, he's going to be able to flip those Cali kids with no problem.
Yesterday, the high in Norman, Oklahoma, was 55 degrees, and the high in LA was 82. It was sunny in LA, and I'm going to guess it was overcast in Oklahoma.
I don't know
this is a genius move by Lincoln. I can't do nothing but I'm not an OU diehard, though, so I don't know how I know how they're feeling. They traitor and hope. This is insane. But it was a genius move. Shout out to Lincoln.
And let's shout out the USC
program.
Shout out to
USC. Like, you know what? Let's call Lincoln.
Let's
see if he can tell us no.
Because he recruits and he does what we want to be. Does LSU want to be Brian Kelly-led Notre Dame? Does that really feel like the highest aspiration of the LSU Tiger football program is to look like the Notre Dame football program?
Oh, no.
I don't think so.
No.
It doesn't feel like a fit to me. It just doesn't feel right. Not about him as in the style.
I know what you mean.
It just feels like at the end of the day, he's going to hate them and they're going to hate him. They loved Ogeron. They just had to it's time to go.
Coach, he talked just like him.
You talk about a fundamental difference, man. It just feels like this is so strange to have him there.
Yeah.
Let's get you caught up in all the headlines. We'll talk some Dallas Cowboys and their lack of a head coach, or at least his availability, coming up in just a couple of minutes. But you are due the headlines. Karl's itching to give them to you. Take it like you should. It's time for the 411 and the 210.
Here's the 411 in the 210. Headline 2.
Coach Tom Thibodeau removes struggling Kemba Walker from the New York Knicks rotation. New York Knicks head coach Tom Thibodeau told reporters on Monday afternoon that he's removing guard Kemba Walker not only from the team's starting lineup, but also from the rotation as a whole, beginning with Tuesday's showdown with the crosstown rivals in Brooklyn. It's a tough decision to make, but you always have to do what you think is right for the team, Thibodeau said after practice on Monday in explaining his decision. I view Kemba as a starter, and so it's tough to play three small guards together. I gave it consideration. I have great respect for Kemba as a person, and he's accomplished in this league. But I have to do what's right for the team.
Like, he didn't just say, this is, I'd pay attention to this. Kemba probably going to be on the move. This, to me, feels like this is somebody they brought in without consulting me. And his style of play does not work for me. Look, if you're out of his rotation, that means you don't play defense. He has no tolerance for people that don't play defense. Because again, he didn't just move him to the bench. He moved him out of the rotation. And I would expect there's more to this than what he's saying. Kemba's probably going to be traded here soon.
It's certainly a message. And it's just so typical of Tibbs. I mean, he did this in Chicago. He's just a hard coach to play for.
Yep.
And this doesn't mean Kemba's worse and different.
It don't mean Kemba can't play. It's just like it's not a Tibbs guy.
And this should work. This felt so right. Kemba going home. Kemba playing in the city that made him. Kemba being Kemba. And for a while it worked, but it's hard to play for Tibbs. It always has been.
They just paid him. So for him to be all the way out of the rotation, they're working on the trade. They gotta be.
Actually, he is still on his Boston Celtics contract, and he injured his knee last year to where the Celtics were just like, well, we really can't have you being the point guard for our two young guys. So they sent him to Oklahoma, and the Knicks were the team that picked him up. So this is still Kemba Walker in his 30s, recovering from a knee injury that he probably can't play defense really well because of. He's not the Kemba that the Knicks thought they were getting when they got the big name trade target.
I think he's exactly what Kemba hasn't changed.
So his production is significantly down from what it was when he first signed.
Either.
No, Kemba is a ball dominant guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he has to have the ball in his hands. And if the shot's not falling and he's a little loose, he's a turnover, but he's also a bucket.
Yeah,
the good news is, they got RJ Barrett, who can also handle the ball with a little bit more height and isn't quite as reckless. He doesn't have the skill set. Emmanuel Quickly, another kid that's taken some of the minutes away. So you're paying the guy a fair amount. And if he's not producing, that doesn't shock me a bit. But
and he has his godson, Derrick Rose.
Yeah, Derrick.
Tibbs loves Derrick, and Derrick finishes most of their games if you watch.
And Randall's their bucket. Randall's the man. And if you're taken away from Randall, and Kemba has a tendency to do that kind of stuff, just like he was doing in Boston. But it just felt like this should fit better. That
it did.
Kemba playing in the Garden every night just felt like this is what should have happened when he first came out. And sadly, it didn't. And I do think a lot of the blame lands squarely on Tibbs' lap. He's a tough guy to play for. Moving along.
Headline 1.
Jim Harbaugh to give all bonus money to Michigan Wolverines athletic department staffers who had to take pay cuts due to COVID-19. Harbaugh will donate any bonus money earned from his contract this season to University of Michigan athletic department employees who had their reduced pay in COVID-19, as Harbaugh said on Inside Michigan Football radio show that he and his wife Sarah would give the money back no matter the amount in order for it to be distributed within the department, as the athletic department implemented a salary reduction of 5 to 10% for most employees in 2020 to help offset revenue loss from the pandemic, as well as any salary freezes.
This is big because you get a check for 10 wins. I'm almost sure.
Yeah.
You get a check for winning the Big Ten. You get a check for beating Ohio State. You'll get a check if you get into the Final Four. So, like, these are all incentives that I'm guessing are in his contract. I'm just shooting.
And those are just the ones that are the obvious.
Yes.
There's others.
So there's This is big for those people.
But
props to Harbaugh for that.
Yeah, props to Harbaugh. But this isn't uncommon.
What
Most
do you
head
mean
coaches
it's not
fund their assistants out of their own paycheck.
No, this is for the entire athletic department.
I'm not. Right now, Harbaugh is capitalizing on newly found and newly earned clout. I mean, he finally beat Ohio State. I'm glad that he's doing it, but I'm not going to put him out like you're the only coach doing it. I guarantee you.
He's the only one talking about it publicly.
Help to fund it, and it's good. I think when you're making that kind of money, a lot of it does have to be kicked back. That's why it was such a big deal when Traylor here at UTSA got his raise, but it was also about the assistants and the money coming their direction too, which often gets lost in the chase and the $15 million contract. So yeah, congratulations, Harbaugh, that you did the right thing.
You still need to win this game coming up.
Oh, you got more to do, but you did the right thing. Capitalize on this newly found love, because it wasn't that long ago, 6 weeks ago, you were about to get fired.
Was he?
Yeah. Harbaugh was on a hot seat to start this season. He was.
Winning cures all.
It does, and you did the right thing. But who's got it better than us? Nobody. Now the athletic department can say the same thing. Good job, Don.
Headline 0.
Carolina Panthers running back Christian McCaffrey to miss the rest of the NFL season with an ankle injury. This is a left ankle injury suffered in the first half of Sunday's 33-10 loss at the Miami Dolphins. Initial x-rays on Sunday indicated the injury didn't appear to be too severe, Coach Matt Rule said Monday morning, but an MRI later in the morning revealed the damage was enough to place McCaffrey on season-ending injury reserve because of the time it would take for him to recover.
It's like a thoroughbred. Like a thoroughbred horse.
Once it's hurt. Yes, it feels like, Q boys the men, end of the road. It was rolling fine. He was rolling fine. He had a year or two where he's probably the best running back in the league. But since that first injury, now it's just one thing after another. Running back shelf life is real.
It's true. You are relegated to third down back. That's what you are. If we can't play you more than about 20 snaps a game, it's just his body can't take it. It's a hell of a third down back and a hell of a talent that sadly I think we'll get some flashes. We'll still see him be great now and again, but what we've seen over the last 2 years is just not physically capable of handling.
Yeah, they really beat him down. They really beat him down those first few years, and it's all coming to pay its toll. And then to top it off, you had Bridgewater, Darnold, and Cam Newton. When you play for guys that can't bail you out for a while and take some of the load off of you, it makes it even worse. Because Cam came crashing back down to earth on Sunday with his 5 of 21 performance. That is disgusting.
If you can't drive it downfield,
yeah,
you can't hand it off to McCaffrey, suddenly things grind to a screeching freaking halt.
I think he just got paid too. It's kind of eerily similar to Todd Gurley. Gets the big payday and then just can't get back on the field.
We're talking about Zeke right now and the battering he's taken and whether he should even play tomorrow night. Yeah, running back shelf life is certainly small. And again, at the end of the day, it's a Mambo King thing. The curse is real.
Well, you drafted McCaffrey?
Oh, number one.
And Dalvin Cook.
And I had Dalvin Cook in another league, and I'd like to thank him for playing as well. So it's a Mambo King thing. At the end of the day, the fault lies with me.
The Mambo King curse is alive and well.
As we struggle through, although I am winning my media league.
I know you are.
Which is the only auto draft league I'm in.
It's the most money, so that's all that matters.
That's all that matters. Moving along.
That's the 411 and a 210.
Coming back, Dan Quinn is the point of contact, not necessarily the head coach, but that's how they've defined him, as Coach Mike McCarthy will be out tomorrow on Thursday night, as the Cowboys take on the Saints. You can catch that game right here on San Antonio's Sports Star, brought to you by Ewald Kubota and AA Best Bail Bonds. The situation the Cowboys find themselves in, I'm very curious to see about the rest of the test today. It seems like it's spreading quickly. Also, let's look back to last night. Russell Wilson, in a valiant comeback, doesn't get the 2-point conversion. They go down, and now the legitimate questions are facing Russell. This team is done this year. His contract is now tradable. Is he imminent to leave the NFL? And all his permutations coming up next. This is R&R in the Morning, and you are on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Just yesterday, Karl went and met the good doctors, the good primary care physician over at the Institute for Functional Health, and by all accounts, had a great visit. When I talk about the Institute for Functional Health, a lot of people consider them just a weight loss clinic. Well, that's not it at all. They're a primary care facility that also offers a myriad of other services, of which weight loss is just one of them. Dr. Jacob Torres is an expert at helping you lose some weight in a long-term and, well, a sustainable way. When you go to the Institute for Functional Health, certainly primary care is there for you. They are a complete soup to nuts kind of institution. They will take care of you. But Dr. Torres bases that medical background in his weight loss program. He takes into account your medical history, all of it, along with all those poor decisions and everything that goes into what made you, what put you in the situation you're in, overweight. Now, some of it's genetics, some of it is your poor decisions, and all of them play a role in the program that he puts together for you. That's why I could boast of the long-term success that I've had. 4 years into it, I'm down 45 now, although probably a little bit less. I haven't stood on a scale here in the last week. But that's the great thing about dealing with the Institute for Functional Health is I can overcome a bad week, a rough week of eating, because the program I'm on is a lifetime program. I know what to eat, when to eat, and how to eat it. And I can enjoy a couple of cheats, as it were. The great thing about Dr. Torres is he understands that we are all human, but at the same time, there is a goal in mind, and he will push, he will prod, and that staff will make sure you stick to the program you've decided to join. I want you to call the Institute for Functional Health. I want you to find out what I know, because Dr. Torres can certainly explain it far better than I. Go to their website, the Institute for Functional Health, IFFhealth.com. Lots of data, lots of information to be found there. But the number you need is 210-468-1891. Again, 210-468-1891. Make the call. Sit down with Dr. Torres. He's very personable. He'll explain to you exactly why it works and why he does what he does. It's the best thing I've ever done for myself. Not the easiest. You can be one of the thousands he's helped to get healthy, lose weight, and reverse years of poor decisions. And I am walking proof of that. You're dealing with headaches, inflammation, joint pain, digestive issues, they can all be fixed. I want you to call Dr. Torres today. Get yourself involved with the program, and I know you'll thank me later.
ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
The San Antonio Spurs won their second game in a row last night with a 116-99 victory over the Washington Wizards. DeJounte Murray had 22 points, 10 rebounds, and 8 assists, while Derek White added 24 points, including 18 points in the third quarter, a career high for White for points in a quarter. The UTSA men's basketball team hosted the St. Mary's Rattlers at the Convocation Center and picked up a 75-65 non-conference win in the battle between the two San Antonio universities. The first time the Rattlers and the Roadrunners have met in a men's basketball game since 2002. Dill Dang led the team with 27 points and 11 rebounds for the Roadrunners. And the Texas Rangers signed shortstop Corey Seager to a 10-year, $325 million deal as MLB free agency heats up. For San Antonio Sports Star, I'm Karl Schoening.
Texas Cheer Liquor, your one-stop shop for beer, liquor, wine, and cigars. Follow them on Facebook to keep up with specials and tastings. 4 locations, 2 on Petranco, 1 past 211, 1 at 90 in Montgomery, and the all-new Texas Cheer Liquor next to Walmart, Palo Alto Road, Suite 101.
From city streets to back roads, from road warrior to carpooler, there are some things you can always count on, like the reliability, durability, and power of DieHard, America's most trusted auto battery. No matter where your journey takes you, count on DieHard to get you started on the road ahead. Available at your local Advance Auto Parts and participating CarQuest stores.
Hello, my name is Jason Thompson, owner of the Thompson Law Firm right here in San Antonio. And for the past 27 years, I have represented people in our community who have been injured because of negligent drivers of cars, 18-wheelers, and company vehicles. I really want you to know that if you're involved in a collision, you need to contact an experienced attorney as soon as possible after the collision. All you may know about an insurance company is what you see on television. If you have ever been forced to make a claim after being injured in an auto collision, there are no jokes, no geckos, no cavemen, no professional athlete endorsers. Just you against a giant insurance company that is represented by skilled adjusters and attorneys who have one job: pay as little as possible. If you've been injured in a collision, please contact an experienced attorney as soon as possible after the collision. I, of course, want you to call me, Jason Thompson. My number is 210-900-0400. That's 900-0400. Or go to my website, alawyerforus.com. That's all one word, alawyerforus.com.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Word of mouth has Dante's dental clinic thriving.
17 new patients? Nice. Is this next month's calendar?
But he needs another dentist to give his schedule a good cleaning.
This is this week? You're kidding. Oh, you're not.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Progressive Motorcycle presents
Road wisdom from the motor.
Ride confidently in the direction of your dreams. Unless it's a bad dream, then turn around.
Progressive Motorcycle also presents basic policy starting at $79 a year. Progressive Motorcycle, for those who were born to ride. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates. Annual premium for basic liability policy is not available in all states.
Hey guys, where are you headed today for lunch? I hope you're headed to Twin Peaks. The lunch specials are in play, and of course, those fantastic happy hours are always in action at 3 of the locations here in San Antonio. Twin Peaks, the eats, the drinks, and the scenic views are going on this weekend. Where are you watching the Big 12 championship game? You got Oklahoma State taking on OU 11 a.m. Where you're watching it, you should be at Twin Peaks. And as we head into December, you're looking for the perfect stocking stuffer. Easy to find the Twin Peaks gift cards. They work great. They're suitable for all occasions, and they fit. Head over to Twin Peaks and purchase your gift cards and get a little something in return for yourself for use this January. Available for purchase in-store only through November the 24th through December the 24th. Go get them right now. If you're looking for a place to host your holiday parties, talk to the folks at Twin Peaks. And Thursday night football jersey giveaways are starting this week. Thursday night, December the 2nd, head out and watch your Dallas Cowboys. They're going to have jerseys to give away, $3.75 Bud Light and Budweiser. Yeah, head over to Twin Peaks. The eats are spectacular. The specials are ongoing. And ho, 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 why do you head over? It's those scenic views.
It's like breakfast tacos with the hot stuff. Rob Thompson, Rudy J, R&R in the morning on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
It's R&R in the morning, and as we get lost in the COVID protocols, let's not forget the Cowboys are on the schneid. They've lost 3 of 4, and they're taking on the Saints of New Orleans on Thursday night. Don't forget, you can catch it live right here, 7 o'clock. We will have your broadcast, as we always do, brought to you by Ewald Kubota and AA Best Bail Bonds. But Cowboys sit without an acting head coach as Mike McCarthy heads into protocols. Dan Quinn will be that head coach. But as the coaching issue is dealing with, but they have also lost their offensive line coach, guys are getting healthy. We're finally starting to get a team that's going to feel a little bit more like the Cowboys that we saw the first 4 weeks of the season. DeMarcus Lawrence will play Thursday night. Now, we lost Tristan Hill due to a sucker punch for a couple of games, but D-Law is back and that interior line will be solidified. And more importantly, Micah Parsons will be released to go do some Micah Parsons things instead of having to do Randy Gregory and DeMarcus Lawrence things.
Right.
So I think the ripple effect there is going to be huge.
Man, it's to be getting healthy at this point in the season is a huge plus. Because, again, you look around the league, Dalvin Cook is down. Aaron Jones is down. I mean, I could go on and on. The list goes on as far as Christian McCaffrey is down. I just named 3 running backs.
Mm-hmm.
I just named 3 running backs. So guys are dropping like flies. I mean, Arizona was without Kyler Murray and Hopkins. So everybody's battered and bruised at this time, but the owners want to add another game, whatever. So to be getting healthy during the stretch run, because again, NFL, while we love it every week because of fantasy football, because of gambling, it's all about who gets hot late. It's always Tampa Bay, I want to say, started off 7-5.
Yep.
Started off 7-5 and then just went crazy. So as bad as it looked, Thursday, Thanksgiving, you're trying to digest your fried turkey and it got ugly. Better days are ahead. Number one, you end the season with division games. And as much as I spent 5 minutes propping up Washington to start the show. Still Washington, still Philly, still the Giants. So better days are ahead. But the penalties are an issue. Whether they're bad penalties or not, don't even give the refs that opportunity. The penalties are an issue. And McCarthy, while I know you want them to stay loose, you're going to have to get a hold of that. Because, again, these penalties are coming at the worst times. Third down penalties will kill you offensively or defensively. So they got to get that together. Now, and I don't know if that's something you can fix. And then I asked last week, like, hey, man, is it time to let Zeke just get healthy? Pollard is fully capable of holding the load down while Zeke gets healthy.
So that was
there's
the question.
There's no reason for him to be out there at this point. It's not like he's a decoy. It's not like he's productive. What do you have him out there for at this point?
I don't know the answer to that. I just know that the Cowboys are better when Zeke's on the field. It just feels that way. Not to take anything away from Pollard. That kick return was electric. That was a beautiful thing to witness, and that skill set that he brings is something that Zeke, quite frankly, can't do.
You were looking for a flag. I know. I was saying that.
We all were, man.
I was at my sister's house, like no yellow screen pop, no little yellow highlight popping up at the bottom. Wow, this really happened. Okay, cool.
I guess the refs were winded. They didn't get a chance to see the myriad of penalties that I'm sure they would have liked to have called on that. So that answers the first question I had for you about Zeke, that you feel like he should sit down and. But what do you think is of the offense as a whole? Was it good enough? Was that the Cowboys offense that we expect to see against the Raiders?
No, because Amari is a master of route running. CeeDee Lamb is just electric in general, and Gallup is better when those two guys are out there. I'm not trying to indict Dak and say Dak needs everything to be perfect. But he's better when everything's perfect. Like the writing is there. When Zeke's down, Dak's not as good. He hasn't been as good without CeeDee. He hasn't been as good without Amari. So again, Dak is elite. I think he's earned every dollar that he's getting. But they're a lot more productive when they're fully healthy. Dak hasn't, while he's elite, he hasn't crossed into that. No matter who you put out here with me, I'm going to find a way to win. Like, Aaron goes out there and wins without 3 of his receivers. He beats Arizona, of all people, who was the hottest team in the league at the time, without all of his receivers. Tom Brady never had receivers outside of the Randy Moss years and won Super Bowls. He hasn't crossed into that. Like, there's elite, and then there's the guys that are from Mars. He's not from Mars, okay? He's human. So when they get fully healthy, that offense is damn near unstoppable.
Okay, so we'll call the offense stagnant. It hadn't been bad.
No, it hasn't been bad. No,
it hasn't been
stagnant. And he utilizes his tight ends really well. I like the way he utilizes his tight ends.
The few tight ends he's got available to him now.
Exactly.
I mean, we're down to tight end 3, I think.
Is that what they're? Okay.
I think we're down. There's a good dude caught a pass last week. I didn't even know his name.
Yeah, I looked up. I know exactly what you're talking about. I was like, wait, who is that?
So
yeah.
It's not that, and there is some discussion that maybe Kellen Moore's offense is getting a little pedestrian, that people have seen enough tape now that, but it's not that. I'm not going to go down that route, but it did feel that way. But he was running an offense minus his stars. He didn't have 3 wide receivers.
Let me ask you this, Rob. Are you Kellen Moore? Are you offended if you're not the acting head coach this Thursday?
No.
Why
You've
not?
got a very important job, man. Keep the offense running. We can win.
But I'm supposed to be the
if
guy.
We give up 28 points.
Why should Dan Quinn get that job?
It's kind of like when Becky Hammond didn't get the coaching gig and
Tim got it.
Did. It doesn't. That has zero effect on the future. Zero. Nada.
I'm talking about when Kellen lays down next to his wife and talks. You don't think he's like, dude, I can't believe they let Dan out.
Ain't nobody's calling the play. You calling the plays. You got 50% of the game already.
Dan.
You got 50% of the game.
Dan's calling the
That's why I
plays.
think they made it. I agree with you, man. If I'm Kellen, I'm like,
what's up?
This kid just got here.
This is just me and you chopping it up. I don't think it's like a
acting
head coach controversy.
But Kellen's the one that's getting the phone calls. Kellen's the hot guy. Dan Quinn is trying to rectify his career. But I firmly believe that if I'm Jerry and I'm running this company, you do what you've been doing, Kellen. You do that. Don't waver.
Okay.
Continue doing that because we need points more than we need great defense.
Okay.
In my estimation.
Yeah.
We need this machine fixed. Focus on that for your 80 hours a week. Dan Quinn, we'll focus on some other stuff and we'll make sure that the defense. That's my opinion.
No,
anyway.
I got you.
Because the moment I heard that McCarthy was gone, I mean Quinn's done it. He's actually been a head coach.
Yeah.
You got the healthy guys back. What would you do with kicker?
Dude, see, this is the problem with him. He's made some clutch kicks. Like 50 plus yards with time expired. Like,
but the extra
I'm a rider. I'm gonna stick with them.
And anything over 50, it ain't happening.
I'm gonna stick with them, Rob.
But the big ones do matter, and he makes those.
Yeah, if you're gonna ask me, be putting a gun to my head, I'm gonna stick with them.
I guess you got to treat him kind of like Michael Jordan or any of the other great. Well, he's not the Jordan of kickers, but you got to allow him to miss a couple of game winners before they finally make one. You got to allow him to miss some extra points because he will make the big one. But it just feels like
he's going to cost you at
it's going to cost
time.
Us at the worst possible moment. That when you look back on a season, you go, "We saw this coming."
But is there somebody on the couch that you trust more?
No, that's the other thing.
So Liam Hairulahu did go perfect on extra points the week when Zerline was out.
And you know
what?
I'm fine with that. But when you're in Lambeau late December or January,
I want Zerline.
Is Hairulahu gonna hit a 49-yarder to win it in the wind with it snowing and the football's rock hard? I don't know.
I like what Jake Spavital said when he was asked about his kicker. He said, "I don't talk to kickers." That's not really the head coach's worry at this point. Kickers are kickers, and they could be worse. I know I get the concerns, but Zerline is what he is, and like you said, is Hairulahu really going to be that much better if they gamble on him? Because that's really the only other option.
Sometimes they're on the couch for a reason,
and we just like saying Hairulahu.
I just love that name, even though Coach McCarthy didn't even want to attempt it because I don't even think he knew.
I loved that answer when Rob threw that curveball, or maybe it was you. He was like, "How do you say your kicker's new name?" He's like, "Well, that's not fair.
That's not fair."
Trust me, he didn't know who he was. That's on Steven and Jerry, and that's just like, oh, this is the guy. Last night, Washington didn't even have a kicker. They were going for two every time. Their kicker got hurt, and they had to start going for two the rest of the way. Washington's on y'all's heels, man. Watch out. Watch out.
I love the idea that it had to go for two. I think the league is better for that. And that was the first time that when Seattle had to go for two at the end of the game. Did you hear that stat? That was the first time they'd gone for two all year.
Which is weird. Right?
In this modern NBA or
10
NFL.
games in, they hadn't gone for two yet.
That just goes to show what kind of crappy season they've got.
Yeah.
I meant to ask it, and we didn't get into the game last night.
That?
But boy, when the game was done and I saw what Russell did, the heroics that it took just to get their only touchdown. Quite frankly, they'd only gotten into Washington's side of the field twice all night. Is that what I'd heard? Because I missed.
First of all, you didn't miss anything.
No, I missed.
It was a horrible game. So, it was a horrible game. One team has to win. Well, in the NFL, they can tie. But you didn't miss anything, man. I was watching it with a couple buddies. It was so bad. It's just like, I think that at one point the announcer said, man, Seattle's kickers, his legs got to be worn out. Because they punted like 7 times straight.
I felt like when the game was over, I saw the future, and it does not involve Russell Wilson in Seattle. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to stay in Green Bay, and Russell is imminent to depart because he did all he could last night, and there just wasn't enough there.
He was one of the many quarterbacks that asked out this offseason and one of the many quarterbacks that the NFL laughed at.
Pretty much.
I don't know, man. I would kind of have a small problem if Russell hightailed it because they have bent over backwards to please him. They've made him the face. His face is on the stadium. His face is on the television, radio, all the endorsements that come through. We'll try to get an offensive lineman. You gave us till midnight to pay you. We paid you at 11. We didn't even wait till midnight. We paid you at 11. They've done everything for Russ. Took a flyer on him when nobody thought he was an NFL QB.
Mm-hmm.
I'd have a slight problem if he hightailed it out of there before free agency.
I think they're going to move. I think they're going to trade it.
Just like, yo, you
I
know
think
what?
they'll just-
It's time to start over.
We
Now
can't.
that's different.
We can
That's
no
different.
longer sustain this. We
Okay.
can't pay you. Look
That's
at your
different.
offensive line. It's terrible. We can't afford a running back. Wide receiver issues. We got one Hall of Famer on our defense, and he's holding down the ship. We got to have some money.
Yeah.
I just feel like they're going to have to turn the page, and Russell needs to go someplace where he can use that skill set. I heard New Orleans mentioned. If I'm Sean Payton, I'll leverage the farm to go get me a couple of years of Russell. He's what? He's only like 31. He's still got
Yeah, he's
some
not
time.
that old.
Hey, anybody want to go see Trans-Siberian Orchestra? I hope you do, because I've got a pair of tickets. They're going to be performing next Friday, December the 10th, at our beautiful AT&T Center. We've got a pair of tickets. You want to win them? I want you to hum your favorite Christmas song to Karl. 656-3776. 656 ESPN.
You want to annoy Karl?
I want you to sing for your supper, as it were. Karl, I'm going to let you decide.
I get to have a little competition on here.
Yeah,
huh?
take a couple calls. The best performance, maybe one will sing your particular favorite one.
Oh, we got the lines going now. You
There
give
we
us the
go.
break.
Sing for your supper.
Yo,
listen in on
they've
this.
never called this fast. Karl, Rob just set you up for failure.
Get on the horn and entertain Karl. That's the game here on R&R in the morning. This is San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
You know, sometimes around this time of year, you starting to wonder what to get loved ones for Christmas, and you're racking your brain. You're like, I gave them cologne, I gave them robes, I gave them all these things, and you just can't figure anything out. So let me and Texas Cheer Liquor help you out. So this Saturday afternoon, they're doing something super, super cool. They do it all the time. But this Saturday afternoon, December 4th, Jay-Z's birthday, December 4th. Yes, I'm a Jay-Z groupie. December 4th from noon until 3 p.m. for their Christmas holiday engraving and tasting. So check this out. Purchase any bottle of Woodford Reserve, Gentleman Jack, Jack Daniel's Single Barrel, or Herradura Tequila, and you can have that bottle engraved at no extra charge. So that bottle, that makes a great gift for somebody, So if they drink Woodford Reserve, or even if they don't, it's just a cool, really, really cool gift, engraved, Rob Thompson, love you, Merry Christmas. That is a super cool gift, and it's a little bit different. And I wonder, do you drink that bottle if someone gives you an engraved bottle?
I engrave do not drink?
Yeah.
I put that if your name is Jack or Clay, you cannot drink this?
See, that's a good question. If I get an engraved bottle, do I drink it or do I just let it age? Regardless, to me, it's a great gift. Texas Cheer Liquor does it all the time. So this Saturday, noon until 3, the Christmas holiday engraving and tasting. So Woodford Reserve, Gentleman Jack, Jack Daniel's Single Barrel, or Herradura Tequila, you can have the bottle engraved at no extra charge. So I know it's late notice, but it's still plenty of time. You still got 4 days. And there's 4 different locations you can go to. 2 on Petrenko, 1 across from Walmart, 1 past 211, the 3rd at Highway 90 in Montgomery, and the 4th is at the Palo Alto exit Palo Alto exit in the Patron Plaza Shopping Center, right next to Walmart. You can't miss it. So December 4th, just think Jay-Z's birthday from noon till 3 p.m. Christmas holiday engraving and tasting. Super cool gift. A little bit, it's different, it's unique, and it's personal. You know what I mean? You want to give something from the heart. Like anybody can go, you got money, anybody can go and get something for a lot of money, but this is from the heart. So let Texas Cheer Liquor help you out with a really cool gift. Texas Cheer Liquor, tell them we sent you.
The Dallas Cowboys, the New Orleans Saints. It's going to be a gridiron showdown. Catch all the action Thursday night at 7:20. Sponsored by AA Best Bail Bonds and Ewald Kubota. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Hello, my name is Jason Thompson, owner of the Thompson Law Firm right here in San Antonio. And for the past 27 years, I have represented people in our community who have been injured because of negligent drivers of cars, 18-wheelers, and company vehicles. I really want you to know that if you're involved in a collision, you need to contact an experienced attorney as soon as possible after the collision. All you may know about an insurance company is what you see on television. If you have ever been forced to make a claim after being injured in an auto collision, there are no jokes, no geckos, no cavemen, no professional athlete endorsers, just you against a giant insurance company that is represented by skilled adjusters and attorneys who have one job: pay as little as possible. If you've been injured in a collision, please contact an experienced attorney as soon as possible after the collision. I, of course, want you to call me, Jason Thompson. My number is 210-900-0400. That's 900-0400. Or go to my website, alawyerforus.com. That's all one word, alawyerforus.com.
Only Wendy's serves a better breakfast with a better biscuit. Our hot buttery breakfast biscuits are loaded with a fresh cracked egg, cheese, and your choice of bacon or sausage. And right now at Wendy's, they're only $1 each.
Wendy's breakfast biscuits, just $1.
So don't take a chance with those other guys. Bet your buck on a better breakfast with Wendy's bacon or sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's.
Limited time only during breakfast hours. U.S. price of participation may vary. Limit 5 qualifying items per transaction. Not valid in a combo. Includes honey butter chicken biscuit.
Since being the first to make wiper blades over a century ago, Trico has protected drivers in any weather. We're always looking ahead, studying your specific driving conditions so you'll be ready for anything. Like, if it actually rains cats and dogs, you can handle every soggy Siamese and drenched Doberman. Your Trico wipers maintain maximum windshield contact for safe, clear driving visibility, whatever the weather. Trico, the future of wipers since 1917. Visit TricoCatsAndDogs.com.
Marty, I am the ghost of rewards past, here to show you all the cash back you could have earned on your holiday purchases.
But I get up to 1.75% cash back on all my purchases.
Wait, really?
Yeah, I have a Navy Federal Credit Union cash rewards card.
Well, cool. Happy holidays.
Learn how you can slay the season with a cash rewards card at NavyFederal.org. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Insured by NCAA.
If it's rim wrecking board busting action you want, then come and get it.
Catching a right-hand dunk.
The greatest ballers on earth are doing their thing on the hard court, and we bring it to you. Catch the action on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Hi, it's Jason Minix from The Blitz. You're listening to San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
R&R in the morning reunited.
And it feels so good.
Peaches, I'm Herb. That's a reference lost on 90% of the people listening.
What is your, let's do StreamYard names. What are you doing today?
Veritas Quasitar.
And that means?
Seeking truth.
Ooh, what truth are you seeking?
This is actually left over from yesterday. I didn't type in today. This was more about yesterday, talking with McCarthy about the loss and trailer. I didn't update today. I'll be honest with you, man. I thought I was going to be really kind of funny, go with these Latin sayings. I'm running out of Latin crap.
I know, dude. I'm like, how
fits?
I've been wondering how long you going to keep it up.
I took it as long as I could, but I've run out of
it may be the end of the
Latin.
Latin.
To go some other direction because there's not. I find good things to put up there. There's just not enough room.
Yeah.
You get the random Latin saying that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I roll with rest in peace to Lee Elder.
Yes, sir.
Lee, well, no Lee, no Tiger. No Lee, Rudy J can't walk up to, a golf course and make a tee time. And, there's a lot of barriers he broke down, a lot of things he went through, so I wouldn't have to go through them. And it's weird, him passing and then Tiger making his, speaking to the media for the first time. And, he's talked so much and so highly about Lee Elder throughout his career. So I just wanted to give Lee some flowers, appreciate you, and thoughts and prayers to the Elder family.
Well said. Well said. And it is, I won't call it ironic. I think it's great timing.
Yeah, right.
That as
I'm
we
sure he
say
talked
goodbye
about
to
Lee
Lee Elder,
today. I'm
I
sure
would like
they
to
did.
think he did. That we hear from Tiger for the first time from his accident.
Who's the guy with the mustache sitting next to him? Had to be the doctor, right?
I hope he was the doctor, but I'm impressed with his hair game. He's got flow and mustache game. Tiger said that he's going to, he expects to play again, but he'll never be back on the tour like he used to be. And I think that's exactly what I expected to hear from him.
I'm going to go Masters and probably U.S. Open.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And maybe his State Farm because they paid him so much over the years. I'm thinking maybe 4 tournaments tops.
Yeah, he'll host
one every quarter.
Yeah, he'll host his own, and he'll invite everybody to his backyard, wherever that backyard might be, and he'll play. Of course, we'll see him at the very least, playing the opening round. I would say pretty soon on Thursday with the older types. But
and the PGA, you are on the clock. What are you going to do going forward? What are you going to do going forward to generate interest? Y'all are on the clock because your cash cow is pretty much he's on his farewell tour. He's not going to play the senior tour. So what are y'all going to do? Make the whole big, make the game fat. What is the PGA going to do to make the Rob, Rudy, and Karl on a Sunday be like, oh, let me see who's going to win the Players? Because without that guy, when he's been out, the numbers are in the sewer. Ball's in your court, PGA.
When we come back in the 9 o'clock hour, we are looking very closely at a Spurs victory and a West Coast swing as they've stacked 2 victories. NCAA coaches carousel continues. The Cowboys playing tomorrow night. We'll touch on all of them and even other stuff because that's what we do. This is R&R in the Morning, and you're on San Antonio's Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Got a question for all you folks that might be looking for a dentist right now. You might need to have a tooth pulled. You might be looking for implants. If you're looking for a full scope oral surgery practice, I want you to consider River City Oral Surgery, Dr. Mark Havercorn, because he's doing business in a very different way. I ask you a question. If you've been shopping for dental implants, how much does it cost? Do you know? If you've been shopping to have your wisdom teeth or someone in your family's wisdom teeth removed, how much does it cost? Do you know? You probably have a dentist or know of a dentist, and you know that they will do that. And you know that eventually you'll get a bill. If you have dental insurance, they'll cover some of it. But do you know how much it will cost? Well, Mark Havercorn, he's got it set up. You know exactly. If you go to River City OMS, and that's oral maxillofacial surgery shortened, because who wants to type all that? You can go to a part on their website that says our services and our pricing. You know exactly how much it will cost to have a tooth removed. You know exactly how much it will cost to have a wisdom tooth extracted. I'm looking at affordable dental implant surgery right now, $1,300 for dental implant surgery. River City Oral Surgery is the nationwide leader in upfront, affordable, and fair pricing. They offer single implants to replace one tooth or multiple implants to replace all the teeth in the jaw, $1,300 for that first tooth. How about $325 for pulling a tooth? Additional erupted teeth during the same surgery is $150 each. You know exactly. And you pay that. And that's it. They don't upsell you. This is not about insurances. They don't accept your insurance. They will help you file. But you know when you walk in there how much it costs, and they also offer financing. I'll tell you, 9 times out of 10, it's cheaper. Go into Dr. Havercorn, and you have a physician, you have a dentist that lives here in San Antonio, works here in San Antonio, isn't flying around all over the country. He's here before, and he'll be there after to take care of you. Their office is over on 1604 and I-10, River City Oral Maxillofacial. Let me say that again. River City Maxillofacial Surgery, Dr. Mark Havercorn. It is worth your time for your health and your wallet. I want you to call them. If you need to have a teeth pulled, you need to have an implant, call them, get your second opinion, and find out what I know. They're doing it differently, and they're doing it great. Here's the number you need. It's 210-778-0002. You want to see the price list? Go to rivercityoms.com. rivercityoms.com. Dr. Mark Havercorn. They're my dentist. Needs to be yours. Call them today and thank me later.
The Blitz. Sports talk and everything else.
I'm Jason Minix. James Pledger producing as always. Dressed today like he's a waiter at one of those high-end steakhouses. I'd like a porterhouse, please.
How would you like that cooked?
Medium.
Super salad.
Salad.
What kind of dressing you want?
Ranch on the side. No tomatoes.
Jason Minix. Weekday afternoons 4 to 7 on San Antonio Sports Star. ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Hey, Dallas Cowboy fans, Jason Minix here, letting you know Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys, and San Antonio Sports Star. We're throwing a viewing party for the Cowboys-Saints game this Thursday out at R&J Saloon. We'll start with a live broadcast of the Blitz from 4 to 7, then stick around and watch the Cowboys take on the Saints. Enjoy $2 Miller Lite long necks during the game and register to win some great Miller Lite Dallas Cowboys gear and other great holiday stuff. That's this Thursday, 4 to 7 at R&J Saloon on South Flores.
'Tis the season for savings at Mother's Window Tint, your car stereo and auto security headquarters. Save on 3M Window Tint, 100% legal to get your car dark, dark, dark. This is Texas, baby. 'Tis the season for dark window tint. We do tint front windshields. Yes, we do. And it's perfectly legal, too. At Mother's Window Tint, 'tis the season to make your car go thump, thump, thump. Mother thump. Save on car stereos, amplifiers, and speakers. Save on car alarms. Save on remote starters. Stores in Austin and San Antonio. And on the web at motherswindowtint.com. Are you a people person and like cars? Maybe you can join our team. Contact us by Facebook or on our website, motherswindowtint.com. 'Tis the season to remember. Do it at Mothers and save.
Hello, my name is Jason Thompson, owner of the Thompson Law Firm right here in San Antonio. And for the past 27 years, I have represented people in our community who have been injured because of negligent drivers of cars, 18-wheelers, and company vehicles. I really want you to know that if you're involved in a collision, you need to contact an experienced attorney as soon as possible after the collision. All you may know about an insurance company is what you see on television. If you have ever been forced to make a claim after being injured in an auto collision, there are no jokes, no geckos, no cavemen, no professional athlete endorsers. Just you against a giant insurance company that is represented by skilled adjusters and attorneys who have one job: pay as little as possible. If you've been injured in a collision, please contact an experienced attorney as soon as possible after the collision. I, of course, want you to call me, Jason Thompson. My number is 210-900-0400. That's 900-0400. Or go to my website, alawyerforus.com. That's all one word, alawyerforus.com.
Hey, Ray Magliozzi here. I'd like to carry more parts at my shop, but I just don't have the room. Every time I go in the back to get wiper blades, I trip over a dusty crate of Honda air filters, then bang my head on some GTO radiator hoses. eBay Motors never has that problem. They stock all the right parts at the right prices. 122 million of them, with everything from new headlights to vintage gear shifters. I can't imagine being able to stock 122 million parts. I mean, where would I get all those shelves? eBay Motors. Let's ride.
Dell Technologies' biggest business sale of the year has arrived. Step up your vision with top tech up to 50% off during their Cyber Monday event. Dell Technologies recommends Windows 11 Pro for business. Plus, get incredible savings on Windows 11 PCs, along with servers, monitors, and docks, all with free shipping. There's also special financing with Dell Business Credit. Get started by contacting your Dell Technologies advisor today at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Fansville, a college football utopia. Fansville. Where the lakes are stocked with ice-cold Dr. Pepper, and the autumn winds rustle with the sweet smell of football glory. And Dr. Pepper. It's a land flowing with onion dip, where even the food pyramid is shaped like a hot dog. Where every yard gained is a yard worth celebrating, and every celebration is beyond excessive. With ice-cold Dr. Pepper. Return to glory this season with Fansville by Dr. Pepper. Grab some today.
From city streets to back roads, from road warrior to carpooler, there are some things you can always count on, like the reliability, durability, and power of Die Hard, America's most trusted auto battery. No matter where your journey takes you, count on Die Hard to get you started on the road ahead. Available at your local Advance Auto Parts and participating CarQuest stores.
Live, local, loud. KZDC, San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Rob Thompson, Rudy J. R&R in the morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning to you. This is R&R in the morning. You're on San Antonio Sports Star. He is Rudy J. I'm Rob Thompson. Karl Schoenig producing us as always, going till 10. Don't forget halftime at noon. Halftime's going to be live out at Twin Peaks on Thursday. Mike Minnis hitting the road. Jason Minix will be at the R&J Saloon on South Flores from 4 to 7, all getting you ready for Dallas Cowboys, Nall, and Saints. Saints might be the cure for what ails the Dallas Cowboys, but what ails the Cowboys is more than just losing. It's COVID. As COVID is running wild through the Dallas Cowboy headquarters, the Star is seething with COVID. And
they were 100% negative Sunday. That's the thing about COVID. Like, so Sunday, everybody's good. Then Monday, 2 people are. It's weird.
Coaches more than
I hate
players.
COVID.
Don't we all?
My gosh! And then new stuff in the air.
And I
Oh,
think
Lord.
it's for a lot of us, I think it's a reminder that
it ain't over.
It ain't over. I think a lot
No,
of us.
I have family members that I in my mind, like I've just been functioning like, like, hey, I'm vaccinated, I'm boosted, and then, I get around my elders, this weekend, they still have their masks, they still kind of trying to be, and I'm like, oh, you know what? It is still out there, people vaccinated or not, you can still get it. So it was a reminder when I got around, my aunts and uncles and grandmother, like, oh, damn, COVID is still real, still here. I was reminded of that this week.
Well, Coach McCarthy tests positive yesterday. Dan Quinn will serve as the point of contact, at least the sideline head coach, as it were. They've only lost Terrence Steele to now,
Right.
and we tied in issue as well. But for the most part, the team is healthy. It's the coaching staff. No offensive line coach. They're going to have to make do with that.
And we didn't really get all the way into it, but, the Amari Cooper situation, did he cost them a game? Dak went to bat for him, as Dak, Dak is always a PC guy, and it's his decision, blah blah blah, whatever, whoopty whoop. But Amari not being vaccinated and having to miss 2 games, did it cost him? Was it selfish? We didn't really go into that, and it's over now, so I guess we just move on.
It cost him. It cost him.
We'll never feel like if they have Amari, you feel like they win that game.
We'll never know,
right?
But it certainly didn't freaking help,
right?
We'll never know if he was the sole reason, but it didn't hurt. It didn't help,
right?
That you weren't available. With all the numbers that were jumping up amongst the coaching staff, that they've gone. Basically, every offensive line coach is out. Even ahead of time, McCarthy moved into the hotel there, the Omni, last week. He told us that he had moved into a hotel. So he hadn't been going home because there was some concern that the coaches were testing positive at a little bit higher rate.
Okay.
So
I was there. I went to the Star Friday.
What'd you think?
It was cool. They did the lighting of the tree.
Oh, you went for the whole Frisco celebration.
The cheerleaders, rowdy. Kids loved it. Cool, packed.
It is like no
I
other
love
facility.
Frisco.
Well, Frisco is all.
I love
new
that
and
whole
shiny.
little area, man. Like Jerry, say what you want. The dude knows how to put things together. Like, and I know he pays people to, try to figure things out, but it's so cowboy. Like, that is such a cowboy thing. Like, you don't even have to watch football to be like, you know what? I like these guys.
There's a reason the Spurs are doing something similar out near the shops at La Cantera, I think,
Dude,
in that
there's
area.
nothing like that. Like, you gotta think that's cows and grass out there in Frisco before that comes. And then now it's just beautiful.
Shiny new and plastic.
I loved it out there. The tree lighting, everything, fireworks. I'm like, man, the Cowboys know how to put on a show. That's why they're America's team.
They're going to put on a show without McCarthy. How do you think that? how do you think that affects the game? Because we were talking about Washington earlier, going for 2, and McCarthy has certainly been he's a gambler, he's a risk taker. Quinn, is he going to be the substitute teacher? Is he going to come in and let the kids do what they want? Or
this is a guy that was up 28-3 in the Super Bowl, so he's been there. And someone reminded me of that when I was talking about Kellen Moore. Dan Quinn his phone will be ringing this offseason because you brought the worst defense in the league.
True.
Up to par in the blink of an eye. So I think he'll do a good job. I think he'll almost do, again, this is a head coach. He may do an even better job. I don't know how we judge that. Do we judge it by less penalties? Do we judge it how the game flow goes? I don't know how you judge it, but I think he'll do well.
The W
and you're playing Trevor Siemian.
That's it. We asked McCarthy.
It's not Drew Brees. Alvin Kamara hasn't played in a couple weeks.
We asked him, how you prepping for Taysom Hill? Who's playing scout team Taysom? And he said it was DiNucci.
Oh, really? Oh, so is it Taysom, not Trevor? I
Well,
don't
no,
know.
I think
who.
it's both. I think you have to prepare for both.
He
but
said
the money plays Taysom's in.
He actually answered that.
Yeah, he said Danucci. I mean, what are you going to talk about with your practice squad? I think I slipped it in there. He wasn't feeling well,
Yeah.
And we make light of it. And again, positive
No, I
does
think
not
Dan
mean
Quinn will
sick.
do fine, but he'll have to turn his hat around.
He's going to have to turn his hat around. And keep in mind, one of the problems with the offense has been the offensive line. And while everybody seems to be on the healthy track, when you're without not only your Joe Philbin, your offensive line coach, but you're out your offensive line assistant coach as well. So you're going to have Bones come over, the special teams coordinator, kind of help out with the offensive line. That is a bit of a concern. And I think while you're messing with a healthier offensive line, you got a banged up Zeke. I think there's this ripple effect. Is the line going to be in a situation where you're comfortable playing Zeke? And if it's not, do you just sit him down because you don't want the abuse that his body's going to take? Or do you need him even more because the line isn't settled?
No, that's a great question. When okay, at this point, we're 11 weeks in, everyone knows offense, everyone knows the defense. Is it that important that they're there every week? The position coach, head coach, whatever the case may be. I mean, of course, I think the head coach matters, but when we're talking about position coaches, these are pros. Everybody knows their job, right?
No, I think there's
You think it matters?
And it's not so much about improving the skill set. It's more about implementing your skill set into the offense. That is the true art of being a position coach. Yeah, these guys, you're not teaching Zach Martin a new trick.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But what you are teaching him is how to use the tricks that he's got in the offense that you're trying to run, and how you coordinate what he's doing with the guy to his left and the guy to his right.
Yeah,
that's the real art form. And when we saw McCarthy last week rotating in a couple of offensive linemen. Now, granted, it was early, the first couple of series. That's weird. That's hard to do because while Lael has been around and while the Connors have been around, all of them kind of changing back and forth, the cohesive nature of an offensive line is delicate, man. You watch Seattle last night. It's not like they have 5 terrible linemen. They just got 5 linemen that can't play together.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're dealing with that, the effect on the running game is going to be interesting. Without McCarthy, big decisions are going to have to be made because the offense needs to get itself back on track and at the same time get healthy guys back in the flow. You don't have your head coach there. I mean, it's not a terrible situation, but it's not a good one either.
Yeah. I think the head coach, while I agree head coach is important, I just don't know if the position coach not being there is that important.
I guess
we'll have to wait and see.
Not in game, in week.
You're talking about prep.
Yeah, not in game shoot. Yeah, you're just,
you going with the flow.
Yeah,
you're playing. You're going off instinct.
You're reacting to what your players are doing at that point. You're trying to fix the problem. You're putting out fires.
I know they'll get a boost of energy. D-Law coming back. He's their firecracker. He's the noise talker. He's the rah-rah guy. They're going to get a nice boost with him coming back to the team for sure.
In a couple of minutes, better job. OU, Notre Dame.
I'll save it.
We'll talk about that.
Okay.
Look at the other coaching availabilities out there. And if your name is Luke Fickell, you're going to have another address as well. But before we get there, let's talk headlines. Things change on the regular basis. You want to move on through that?
I'm sorry. No, this is me getting the finger ready to hit the button.
Yeah.
You threw me off. I thought you had breaking news.
Wrap up.
I was taking production. No. I appreciate it.
I understand that.
It was second skin, right?
He thinks he's in the Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
He was giving us the
he's giving us the signal.
And I saw second skin and I thought,
I saw breaking news.
I'm just excited to hit the button.
Let's hit that button. Let's do this.
Here's the 411 in the 210. Headline 2.
We talked about baseball money earlier. This is one we neglected to mention as reigning AL Cy Young winner Robbie Ray agrees to a $115 million deal with the Mariners, who aim to end their playoff drought. After years of drifting in baseball limbo, the Seattle Mariners moved decisively towards trying to end Major League Baseball's longest playoff drought. The Mariners reached an agreement Monday on a 5-year, $15 million deal with reigning American League Cy Young Award winner Robbie Ray giving their rotation a definitive ace after a season in which they narrowly missed out on a wild card spot. Ray, who is 30, completed a remarkable 2-year resurgence with the Toronto Blue Jays by leading the AL in ERA of 2.84, strikeouts of 248, innings pitched with 193 and a third, and whip, which is walks to hits per inning, at 1.05 to claim his first Cy Young Award. The Blue Jays, though, agreed to terms Sunday with right-hander Kevin Guzman on a 5-year, $110 million deal. The Mariners quickly pivoted towards the best lefty on the market.
How do you let a Cy Young Award winner walk?
It's a lot more in Canadian.
I just, there's some things that just puzzle me when you're trying to build a winning franchise and the best pitcher on your side of the bracket in the league, you have him and you let him go. Do they think it was a fluke?
Well, first of all, Robbie Ray?
Yes, that's right.
Had you heard of him before that headline? Literally, had you?
Yes.
So
Yeah. Not because I'm not a seam head, but no, I knew who Robbie Ray was. Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm far from a seam head. But I'm just like, okay, he wins the Cy Young, and you say, all right, peace out.
I almost think it's like the Toronto Raptors effect. Who really wants to play in Toronto? Because that adds so many more days to travel, because there are evenings where you can't come back in because customs are closed, and so many more things you got to deal with the translate. Exchanging your money rate. So all of those kind of things play into why Canada's not the most appealing destination for an American league.
They're sorry about it, though. Moving on.
Headline 1.
I was like, okay, he's going to follow this up.
Hey, this is a fun one. Enes Kanter is now an American citizen, and as he becomes an American citizen, he'll be adding freedom to his name, moving Kanter to his middle name. So he is now Enes Kanter Freedom, and his new last name will appear on his Boston Celtics jersey starting Tuesday night.
It'll say Freedom?
Freedom. Kind of like what Meta World Peace did, how it's World Peace.
You know what? It's as a spoiled American that I am, you take it for granted, and I don't even like being that guy. But sometimes, like things like this, it makes you think about it. Like we take freedom just so like, yeah, of course. Like I was born into a free world, and whereas a guy like Enes Kanter, you say one wrong thing and they're sending people to kill you. You know what I mean? Like you can't fly to certain, like you get security set up in certain cities that you're flying to. So while it could seem like a joke, I don't think it's a joke. I think the guy's like legit, like happy to be free, which is crazy because again, I came out the womb free.
Yeah, people are giving him a little slack because he appeared on Tucker Carlson to talk about, just the idea of freedom and stuff like that. And I thought that it was actually a very nice, genuine interview because he appears on like CNN and all these things to talk about, issues that Americans might not really know or understand, such as like how Turkey sucks because they're being run by a dictator. And he even went against the Chinese. So, he's probably not making any money over there. But it is something that has sort of become his, purpose. He's 29 years old and he wants to be outspoken about issues in the general region that he's from that Americans don't really give a second thought to on a daily basis.
Well, I think the irony was that he went on Fox News and Tucker Carlson on the Shut Up and Dribble channel.
That's fair, actually. That is irony.
So I'm all for So, yeah, I mean, it's all about location.
Great point.
But
great point, Rob.
I think Pop put it best.
That is hilarious. Like, dude, of all places.
You went there. You got to be very careful that you're not a pawn. Be very careful in it. I think you're doing your heart's in the right place. And I think
no. Yes.
Just got to be
careful.
Hit it on the
head. You hit it on the head.
You're delivering your message because you are being used for ulterior motives. Just be careful of that. And Enes Freedom, sure, man. Put freedom on the back of your jersey. I'm down. Why not? What would you put on? Would you ever change your name to reflect something like that? Because half the society has to change the name.
I don't know.
Every woman I know at some point has had to do something because of the name that has gotten married,
True.
whether they took it or had to explain why they didn't or hyphenated and all that. So it's not weird, but it always strikes me as odd when men decide they're going to change their last name.
You like world peace or freedom better?
It's all the same. I'm down with peace. World peace, I think, would be
Meta world peace or Enos Cantor freedom.
I think Meta World Peace kind of rolls off.
I know it rolls better, right? Yeah, Meta World Peace has a nice little.
I wonder if Facebook paid him when they changed their name to Meta. Do you think that the
wow, yeah, that's
they
right.
did
The metaverse
or the R&R test world? What I think would have been better.
That'd be a social media I'd join.
Was World Be Free? Was that
World Be Free? Was like
he
70s,
was Lloyd
80s.
Free. He was Lloyd, and he changed his name to World B. Anybody who ever saw Lloyd play?
Yeah,
that was an appropriate
that's
name.
a solid name too.
World
that
Be Free.
That rolls off really well.
The shootist.
Who else are we missing?
Well, we've had some Islam.
Well,
changes,
yeah, I mean,
but-
of course, Kareem, Muhammad,
and Chris Jackson.
Oh, that's right.
Rauf.
Right.
But that's the most recent of the real switches. It is freedom. Freedom in the game. Freedom with the foul.
He's like, I'm free.
Freedom. It's on his shoes.
Dude, he has millions. Why did it take so long? I don't know the
just
process.
became an
It's-
American
yeah.
city.
As he just passed his citizenship test. He's now an official American citizen, can carry a U.S. passport, and that's huge for him. It'll allow him to travel a little bit freer than when he was carrying his Turkish passport, which, Erdogan and the Turkish dictator, we talked about that.
Right, we did.
So, yeah, that's big for him, and, make the movement.
Yeah.
Freedom. in
Good
the
for
game.
you, Enos.
Freedom fouls out.
Headlines.
Leave LeBron alone, Enos.
Denver Nuggets Michael Porter Jr. undergo back surgery. He'll be out indefinitely. Porter, who signed a 5-year, $172 million contract in September, has been searching for a non-surgical option since injuring his back on November 6th, but multiple options landed on surgery. Porter, who's 23 years old, had back surgery prior to the 2018 NBA draft, spent his first season recovering, and became one of the top young forwards in the leagues. And he averaged 19 points a season ago. He formed a partnership with MVP Nikola Jokic and guard Jamal Murray that represents one of the league's top young cores.
Well, did anyway.
Who dropped the ball and didn't give him another physical before they signed?
Oh, they knew what they were doing.
They knew he was about to have back surgery and still gave him
no,
a
they
buck
knew that
70?
they had damaged goods. You don't sign that kind of money without medical due diligence.
So then
Hey,
now
they
I'm
rolled the
even
dice.
so now I'm even more upset. Not upset. So now I'm even more like, what?
I think that their practice court is on an Indian burial ground. I mean, that you want to talk about a bad luck franchise. They've always had the best intentions. Go back to Carmelo Anthony and him just ghosting them for more money. And then you got Jamal Murray, who's rounding himself into one of the premier two guards in the land after his bubble performance blows a knee. They wait a year on Michael Porter, knowing full well when they drafted him, he had back issues. Then they pay him and he gets surgery within 6 weeks of the new deal. Some of it's ignorance, but I think others, it's just bad luck, man. You need to change your mojo up there.
The thing I don't get is if you're going to give him a max contract, why not just wait until restricted free agency and say, just go find the best deal you can get and we'll match it?
My daddy always said, don't try to make sense out of nonsense. You can't.
Okay, then that's what we're doing.
That's nonsense. Why they did it, I don't know, but you can't even begin to start. If they didn't to do the medical due diligence to have at least an idea of the percentage opportunity that this could happen, then it is ignorance that caused it, not just bad luck.
5 years. Let me see. I can math. I did the public school. That's 34.
Yeah. Yes.
Good Lord. And this is surgery.
But
when they
again,
open up your back, you don't get better. When they ask Steve Kerr. I know Steve was older when he started having his back surgeries. Ask Tiger Woods.
Larry Bird.
Larry Bird. When they cut your back open, that's like, he's better now. No, eventually he will be hurt again. And you have to give him every red cent.
True that.
Good luck, Denver.
True that. I absolutely agree with that.
That's the 411 and a 210.
Head to the dispensary. Smoke your pain away.
It's too bad. This kid can play.
Yeah.
I mean, he legitimately is worth that money if he was available to get to his ceiling, because everything about the modern league, he was born for it. Born for it. And it's unfortunate. They rolled the dice. I guess there's a shot, but it certainly feels like This Denver Nugget process that began in 2017, 16 has just screeched to a halt.
Tiger couldn't walk and swing, but Michael Porter Jr. is supposed to run and jump.
Hey, let's come back. Maybe Sean Ryman will stop by for his daily dose of fun. We'll look around the rest of the sporting world, talk some Spurs and Dallas Cowboys as well. Hang around here. You're on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. I want to talk to you real quickly about Arasti. Dr. Jason Garrett joins us every Wednesday as we talk about the injuries around the sporting world and what they need to do to get themselves back in the game, because that's what Arasti specializes in. Eliminating the pain so you can get yourself back in the daily game of life. If you're dealing with soft tissue injuries, there is a fix out there. If you've got lower leg issues, hamstring tightness, if your back is so tight you can't get out there, if you've got a frozen shoulder or bad hips and you can't climb a ladder to put up those Christmas lights, you're kind of stuck. You're really not in the game, are you? Well, Arasti providers all around San Antonio are experts. They are masters at getting you out of those chronic pain and soft tissue situations that so many of us deal with. Their hands-on approach to improve the healing potential of the body and in the targeted areas is, it is not rivaled. At Arasti, you'll always be treated by someone who is an expert in the latest and most effective approaches in soft tissue injuries. Arasti is a designation that is earned. It is a postgraduate degree. To become an Arasti provider, you have to already be a physician. You have to already be a chiropractor. You have to already be a DO to offer the service that they've got. They're all around San Antonio. They accept most insurances. And when you call, you're never going to need a referral. Here's the number you need, 1-800-404-6050. Again, 1-800-404-6050. Their website is arasti.com. Spelled funny, but it works. AIRROSTI.com. Call an Arasti provider. Get yourself out of pain, and I am sure you're going to thank me later.
Sports Center is brought to you by Kielbasa Slow Crafted Sausage. Available at your local grocery stores.
The San Antonio Spurs won their second game in a row last night with a 116-99 victory over the Washington Wizards. DeJounte Murray had 22 points, 10 rebounds, and 8 assists, while Derek White added 24 points, including 18 points in the third quarter, a career high for White for points in a quarter. The UTSA men's basketball team hosted the St. Mary's Rattlers at the Convocation Center and picked up a 75-65 non-conference win in the battle between the two San Antonio universities. The first time the Rattlers and the Roadrunners have met in a men's basketball game since 2002. Dill Dang led the team with 27 points and 11 rebounds for the Roadrunners. And the Texas Rangers signed shortstop Corey Seager to a 10-year, $325 million deal as MLB free agency heats up. For San Antonio Sports Star, I'm Karl Schoening.
My name is Josephine. About 9 years ago, I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia. I suffered from digestive issues and had pain all over my body. I was always tired. I was pre-diabetic with hypertension. I thought this is how I'd live the rest of my life. Doctors would prescribe medicine and send me home, but nothing helped. Then I saw an interview with Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health. I called for a free evaluation and immediately realized I have found the answer. After being on Dr. Torres' program, my pain went away, my body went through good changes, and I had tons of energy. Even my mindset changed. I have a life again. I've lost 70 pounds, went from a size 18 jeans to a size 7. I no longer take medication. I've learned to manage my fibromyalgia, and my digestive issues have vanished. I feel great. Dr. Torres has changed my life.
I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health. Call me for your free consultation, 468-1891, 468-1891.
When you're sick, injured, or experiencing a medical problem of any kind, the last thing you want to do is leave your home to find medical care. Now, thanks to Dispatch Health, you don't have to, because Dispatch Health comes to you. That's right. Receive high-quality care from expertly trained medical professionals in the comfort of your own home when you need it. Just call or click, and Dispatch Health comes to your home, able to treat common to complex illnesses and injuries. It's really that simple. Go to dispatchhealth.com now to learn more and download the app so you're always just the touch of a button away from the quality health care you need. Dispatch Health is affordable and in-network with most health insurance plans, including Medicare. It's true, high-quality care from expertly trained medical professionals in the ease and comfort of your own home, all for an affordable price. So the next time you're sick or injured, stay home, stay comfortable, and let Dispatch Health come to you. Go to dispatchhealth.com and say hello to the modern-day house call. That's dispatchhealth.com. Go to dispatchhealth.com.
1911 Cigars in Cibolo is the premier cigar lounge in South Texas and the perfect place for your holiday party. 1911 Cigars is available for private events and has private cabanas with TVs, fire pits, and heaters. Book your holiday party now. A BYOB establishment, 1911 Cigars strives to allow the average cigar connoisseur a comfortable place to relax, socialize, network, and of course, enjoy a great cigar. 1911 Cigars at 202 South Main Street in Cibolo. 1911cigars.com.
Opinions. We got them. Keep them coming. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Thanks, Keyshawn. You're right. Opinions, we got them. At least one of them. One just strolled in. This is R&R in the morning. He's Rudy. I'm Rob. Sean Ramos standing beside us.
I got to confess something real quick.
What's up?
Because I posted on Facebook, and you guys will probably see it. Rob, do you remember about 5 years ago going into the kitchen here at the station, and there was a plate there that had a piece of fried chicken on it, and there was a piece of the chicken missing? Do you remember that?
Yes, I do, vaguely.
You stole it.
That was me.
Did you need to get that off your chest?
Wait a minute. We've been talking about on KTSA for 5 years. I remember hearing you go down the hallway going, gross, man. That was me. I thought I could get it off there with nobody noticing. I just wanted a little piece, Rob.
There was a
little piece
out of the
batter,
chicken.
man.
Like somebody just came and took a bite out of the chicken and put it back.
Why'd you put it back though?
Because I didn't know what to do, man. I was panicking. I panicked.
Well, did you wake up in a
Why'd you
cold
just-
sweat over this for 5 years?
Yeah,
Is
what
that
It
what
came up
brought
on
this
your memories on Facebook, and so I posted it. And I'm like, holy crap, Chris. I have to go down there and talk to Rob. He'll probably see it on Facebook.
Dude, so you
That's
just
awesome. It
so you
was
took a bite and
Rima.
dropped it back?
I didn't take a bite. I just tried to pick a little goober of batter off. I thought nobody would notice, and it took half the chicken away.
It looked like, I was like,
somebody
who
just
the
taking a
hell
bite.
puts a piece
Put
of
it back.
chicken
Are you
back in the bucket?
It was me.
It was
me.
Oh,
It was
delicious.
Okay,
I
so
gotta
now I know why you confessed. I thought it was just random.
Sean Rima, go check that
Check
out
the
and
post.
many
I'll
other
see you in a little bit.
confessions that he has held secret for these many years over on KTSA.
But
I have to go pull up my memories.
I am a crust snatcher,
Oh.
but with my family, not random people's gatherings. Like in my family, like you may go and get your thigh and the top layer of crust is gone, which makes everybody in the house mad, but yeah, we're family. I'm not going to do it here at Alpha or the ESPN and say like just run by and just take the skin off of someone's chicken at work.
In his defense, and I'm not trying to defend the indefensible, but in his defense, working at a radio station, people bring stuff.
And you think it's for free. It's up
Well,
for
no,
grabs. Not for free, it's
They
up for
bring
grabs.
stuff by. You got listeners that are fans, and they'll bring by cake. And sometimes, a savvy restaurant, and you know who you are,
Right.
might want to promote their product by just dropping off something, bringing by whatever they're known for, and try it, and maybe somebody on air will talk about it. So we have stuff coming through here, so it's not uncommon to walk into our break room and see a bucket full of chicken.
Right.
But it is uncommon to see a half-eaten piece of chicken.
Dude, just take it.
And I was blaming the lowly board ops.
You were?
I was blaming the overnight
So
types.
when you posted that someone did this, you posted it?
Honestly, I don't recall posting it, but I'm not
I guess you
surprised that I
did.
did. I'm not surprised in the least that
That
I
lets
did.
me know it pissed you off.
But it was Rima.
It made you angry. Like, who does this? Like, who does?
Or when you open up,
Not even angry,
or-
just like, who does that?
You have boys in the house, and you expect a certain amount of,
savageness.
Yes. So you open up your leftover box from the night before, and you're
Right.
brought home maybe whatever, and it's half gone.
You get it.
And your son walks by with like mustard on his face. Like, I don't know. Like, you don't know. There's been two of us.
But you don't expect a 55-year-old grown man to take a bite of a piece of chicken and put it back.
Again, in radio, it doesn't shock me.
Right.
But at that point, I did kind of blame the
board ops,
the hungry types, types that live off that and Funyuns. I don't know what we were supposed to
Damn,
talk
it
about.
was Rima.
I'm trying to find my memories to see the picture of it. For those of you that I guess he saw it pop up.
Yeah, he had to have. Because I'm guessing the only way he saw that, you must have tagged him.
I'm sure.
5 years ago.
I'll get there in a bit.
He probably tagged all the on-air guys. I'm like, yo, let's get to the bottom of this.
How much of the Spurs games you watch last night?
Not much. I was watching Monday Night Football.
Monday Night Football.
Right.
It's 2 consecutive games.
I knew Karl had my back.
Yeah, it's December, and the Spurs, quite frankly, haven't earned our trust.
I watched December basketball, but last night I watched football.
Well, no, on a Monday night,
yeah.
I'm tuned into something that directly affects me in the immediacy, and that's the Washington football team, and watching them win a game that, quite frankly, I didn't think they were capable of.
Mm-hmm.
And in full disclosure, I was working St. Mary's UTSA last night, so I did not see anything more than I watched like 12-minute highlight condensed games that you can find on YouTube.
But you can actually watch YouTube, and they give you great recap games.
Yeah, for example, Josh Primo hit 2 threes, and they were meaningful rotation minute threes, and that's something I might not have noticed if I just looked at the score board.
Let him play. Let him play. Do I need to get those shirts made for Primo? With the little Bitmoji character on the back, let him play with the Primo Bitmoji. The kid is not scared. He's not scared.
No, he's not
let him
scared.
go.
But for us to think that anything is going to be altered in the plan that Greg Popovich has put together that has been functional for years, and to hear the complaining of us and the social media, well, it ain't going to happen.
Agreed.
But Karl has always been dead on this because he's been part of the process in witnessing what happens in Austin.
No, Karl gave him the Hall of Fame already.
Who? What?
No,
Karl put him in the Hall of Fame already. That was our beef.
But what the reason we like to have Karl doing all those games and coming back and reporting is because what Josh Primo is doing up in Austin has nothing to do with whether the Austin Spurs win. He is playing his own little game inside of the game. There are things that he has to get done in game. And I asked him, well, how did he look? Well, there are a couple of shots that he probably took when he shouldn't have. That's the learning process. It had nothing to do with whether the Austin Spurs win or lose. It's about him learning what to do and transfer that up. And when you get those 4-minute spurts, go do exactly what you were doing in Austin, because we're going to run the exact same play. We're going to do it exactly as you were doing to get that level of comfort. And that's not going to change. But the benefit of that is 2 straight wins and a highly effective backcourt. When what we saw with Derek and DeJounte was exactly what we wanted to see back in.
This was 2 years ago when we were like, hey, is it going to be these two? Or what are we doing? So it's been a long time coming.
So I want to give a shout out to Eric Salinas on Twitter. He's a big Spurs fan, and he pointed out that 2 years ago with LaMarcus and Rudy and Patty and DeMar, the Spurs also started 6-13. But those are a bunch of guys that, are on the back 9 of their career. This is a bit more of an acceptable 6-13. Because I kind of said this at the beginning of the season. It's okay if this team starts off 3-7, which I think they started off 4-6, but it's probably not acceptable if they end up being 10-25.
I agree, but you can't argue with black and white. I mean, they did start 6-30, but I don't think that is this or this is that.
Because there's not a DeMar here, an all-star. There's not a LaMarcus here. The expectation is those guys are worth wins on their own. We don't have that. So I think we were more than able to sustain that slow start last year, knowing full well it's just a matter. It's DeMar and LaMarcus. These guys are still fully functioning NBA players, all-star caliber. We have a lone all-star that probably won't get it in DeJounte.
And you know what? I don't know, Karl. I mean, to me, watching Derek last night kind of validated us being critical of Derek early on, because when he is what he was last night, they win.
Yes.
And if Karl is on to something with this whole DeJounte thing and Derek can play like that, I don't know. Maybe they can be better than I thought.
No.
I have to rethink it. I may have to rethink it. If Derek, I'm not asking him to drop 18 a quarter once a game. But if he's going to average 20 plus and DeJounte going to average 20 plus, they're going to be in a lot of games.
Yeah.
Because you got to remember how many bad teams are in the NBA. Like more
We're
times,
one of them.
More times than not, you're going to be facing another bad team.
The Spurs win when we have 3 guys score above their average. That's when we win. We need 3 of them. We don't need
6
just 2.
in double figures.
And we need 6 to 7 in double figures. But 3 of these guys are going to have to score above their nightly average because we have a bunch of disparate guys that do a lot of the same things. When it's functioning, like we've seen over the last 2 games, when they're turning the ball over and they're playing perimeter defense and they're scoring at the rim, and Derek and DeJounte are doing Derek. Yeah, we look really good, but it's just hard to maintain that. That's why it's such a big deal to stack 2 wins. And let's not get lost in the fact that suddenly we're seeing wins when there's a break in the schedule, everybody's healthy, and you can practice.
Practice.
For Pop is more
you
than
don't normally
most,
get to practice in the NBA.
and this team needs practice, not walkthroughs. Vet teams get walkthroughs. This team needs an hour and a half of practice, of fundamental work, of breaking a sweat and taking shots when you're tired and all of that. That's when we see success with the young team. And he's had it. And we'll have another couple of days of practice before they head west. This is a good time for us to see that incremental growth that we were going to need, 1, to get to 26, and 2, to get yourself into the
playoff situation.
That 7, 8, 9, 10 situation. Yeah, that play-in situation, which they are far away from now, but easily attained if there is that incremental growth. But 2 in a row. Let's not discount that. We'll look forward
I won't
see where they're headed as they head to the West Coast swing. A lot of late nights headed our direction. Put a bow on the show. Look forward to a full day of the sporting world, and continue to look at the Dallas Cowboys as we will host them here on Thursday night. This is R&R in the Morning, and you're on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Refer your friends and earn Amazon cash with your personal referral link. Yes, it's about that time. You may be in need of extra cash, or maybe you know a friend or family member that's in need of cash. Let that friend or family member know, hey, you got a car you haven't been using, you don't know what you're doing with it. It still runs, still in good shape. All the bells and whistles still work. Refer them to carzeus.com/referral. And should Carzeus purchase that car, they will give you $500 in Amazon cash. You split it $250 each, and go get you an engraved bottle of Gentleman Jack. Oh no, it's up to you. Carzeus.com. That's carzeus.com. You can check their Google reviews. It's such an easy process, especially for dinosaurs like myself. When you go online, they make it easy. They make it user friendly, and that is so important. So go on there, upload some photos, let them know the condition of your car. My man Jeff will drive it around and make sure it's running right, and they'll have you in and out an hour with the check in hand should you want that offer. And again, they don't pressure you to buy right or sell right then and there. They encourage you, hey, you know what? Go look around. 9 times out of 10, you'll be back because, they're the best at what they do. I love the business model, and it works. So go to carzeus.com. That's carzeus.com/referral, and let all your friends and family members know if they need a cash and they got a car they're not using and want to get rid of. That's the place to go. And if you owe, don't worry about it. They can also get you done if you owe money on your car. They cut 2 checks, one to your lender and one to you for the remainder balance. So check them out yourself if you don't believe me. That's carzeus.com. That's carzeus.com.
Happy Christmas. Rapping with Jack. Benefiting Family Service Association is happening now through December 4th. Benefiting the most needy families this holiday season. There are 3 ways to help. Give cash now, shop the Amazon wish list, or drop off donations at our designated locations. Complete details now at sasportstar.com. Presented by Quarter Moon, Plumbing, Heat, and AC. And in part by River City Oral Surgery, Institute for Functional Health, and Copenhagen Contemporary Furniture.
'Tis the season for savings at Mother's Window Tint, your car stereo and auto security headquarters. Save on 3M Window Tint, 100% legal to get your car dark, dark, dark. This is Texas, baby. 'Tis the season for dark window tint. We do tint front windshields. Yes, 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 we do. And it's perfectly legal, too. At Mother's Window Tint, 'tis the season to make your car go thump, thump, thump. Mother Thump. Save on car stereos, amplifiers, and speakers. Save on car alarms. Save on remote starters. Stores in Austin and San Antonio. And on the web at motherswindowtint.com. Are you a people person and like cars? Maybe you can join our team. Contact us by Facebook or on our website, motherswindowtint.com. 'Tis the season to remember. Do it at Mothers and save.
Hundreds of thousands of people have said goodbye to their overpriced Verizon, AT&T, or T-Mobile plans and switched to Pure Talk on the same great 5G coverage as one of those carriers. Get unlimited talk, text, and 6 gigs of data for just $30 a month. The average family is saving over $800 a year. From your cell phone, dial pound 250 and say half off, and you'll save 50% off your first month. That's pound 250, say half off.
Hey, Dallas Cowboy fans, Jason Minix here, letting you know Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys, and San Antonio Sports Star. We're throwing a viewing party for the Cowboys Saints game this Thursday out at R&J Saloon. We'll start with a live broadcast of the Blitz from 4 to 7, then stick around and watch the Cowboys take on the Saints. Enjoy $2 Miller Lite long necks during the game and register to win some great Miller Lite Dallas Cowboys gear and other great holiday stuff. That's this Thursday, 4 to 7 at R&J Saloon on South Flores.
O'Reilly. Is your vehicle ready for holiday travel? O'Reilly Auto Parts can help you save on your next oil change. Right now, get a $15 O'Reilly Auto Parts gift card after mail-in rebate when you buy 5 quarts of Castrol Edge full synthetic motor oil for $32.95. Plus, earn double O Rewards points with your purchase. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com. O'Reilly Auto Parts.
The best seat in the house is on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
This is R&R in the morning. He's Rudy J. I'm Rob Thompson. Yesterday, while you were out, Rudy, we were talking about Team USA basketball is in the midst of a FIBA qualifying tournament. And I was just, I'm part of Team USA. I get all their mailers and stuff like that. And I was looking at the roster and thinking, who would be playing for the Team USA right now in the middle of every basketball season? These guys had to get some kind of special dispensation from their G League team or wherever they were just to make it. But on the roster was Isaiah Thomas.
Really?
That Isaiah Thomas, yes. And he hit a bucket, a game winner to beat the Cubans in this qualifying tournament day before. Well, they went out and lost last night. Team USA lost to Mexico 97-88. But as I was looking at that, I have he's a good San Antonio player, a guy that doesn't get a lot of run in our city as far as a basketball player, but Orlando Mendez-Valdez played at Lanier, had a glorious career at Western Kentucky and went off and got 40 in an NCAA tournament game. Been a legit professional player, played all over the world, now playing down in Mexico City, but did go to Lanier High School, led Team Mexico with 27 points last night as they took down Team USA 97-88. I wanted to give Orlando Mendez
that's really cool,
little
man.
shout out.
Hell yeah.
Well done, Mexico.
And especially where I've been running my mouth about USA, Mexico, and soccer. I was like, beat us in basketball. That'll
well, you went and got
and sure enough, they went and did it.
They took them down.
Damn it, USA. But no, so he went to Lanier. He's guard.
He's a guard, a bucket getter, just a legitimate, just a walking bucket. Played for Maccabi for a little bit up in Israel on their high-level team and spent a lot of time down in
he went to Western Kentucky. Only fitting. We got to play them Friday.
We're playing them as they're coming to town on Friday. Pack the Dome where they're looking at $50K plus. The business community has stepped up in our city, led by April and Sarah, to make sure that the students have no excuse. The tickets are will be purchased for them if they want to head out to the game. I know it's in the midst of finals and all that, but it's going to be a big Friday. Get your orange birds up. This is a huge comeback, and I feel like some of the air was let out of the balloon.
It did feel that way. It's like, damn. But the goal is to win the conference championship, you know. Of course, you wanted to be undefeated. But
everybody
it didn't
writes
work
that
out.
down. Everybody says but the fact of the matter is, you don't get a trophy for undefeated. You get a trophy for winning your conference.
Right. And we're looking like you were kind of on point with the New Orleans Bowl. Is that where are they leaning back toward? Are they looking New Orleans Bowl again?
I'd be down.
Draw a circle.
Okay.
And make it drivable. Make it available to your students, because the first step in getting national legitimacy and having bowls look at you is when we invite you. Are you bringing fans to fill our bars and our hotels and generate the economic impact that bowls preach to their home cities? That's the first step. We saw the lack of respect this team got. They lose on the road in the rain as a 10-0 team, and they fall completely out of the top 25. Come on.
After being 15, again, if they were 24, I get it. If they were 20, I get it. But to be 15 and fall, that far, I don't know.
La Tech got more respect several years ago when they were in the top 25. So it seems like, I don't know, maybe it's like a Spurs effect where it's like, okay, we gave you credit when you won your championships, but being a contender, leave us alone until you get to the finals.
But La Tech has been successful. They put pros in the league.
Right.
People have heard nobody up until this year, outside of the 2-1-0, the triangle of toughness,
right,
never thought of UTSA when it came to football. No, they didn't think of us at all.
But if he would have rubbed the lamp prior to the season starting and little Genie came out and said, hey, you're going to be 11-1, you take that all day. You take that 11-1 all day long.
And we got Coach Traylor coming on apologizing. Like, man, what's it like to
I
feel
can't believe.
human?
So was that the first thing he said?
Well, he said, it was kind
hey,
of a
Rob, how
letdown.
you doing, man? But, sorry. What?
It was,
what are you about? You're 11-1.
That's how we felt.
There's only 8 teams that have one loss. Come on, Coach.
And this isn't going to be easy. And we're coming in against a team we had to score late and score 52 points to beat. This is not going to be
not a gimme.
And I think he realizes more than anything else, a loss like that, at least it's like a little bit of smelling salt. It'll focus your attention right before the championship game. Hey, don't forget about halftime. Michael Amenis and Jason Minix will be bringing it all to you. Go ahead and put it in your calendar. Thursday, halftime live at Twin Peaks, Blitz live at the R&J Saloon, all preparing you for Dallas Cowboys, New Orleans Saints. Go register for free tickets at your sasportstar.com. We're going to go check the film. We're going to study real hard, and we're going to practice and get better. We'll see you tomorrow. You guys stay safe. This has been R&R in the Morning.